Ah, jeez. You know. Yo, that shit I had off the press. You feel me? Ain't no money can change up me. Me, I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. All me do I trust the process. Me never need no camera to keep the focus. Me full of power like the porters. Me never word the hocus pocus, but me flyer than a locust. Girl interrupt me mid-fly fi take the photos. Pull up in at the Lotus, rev the engine, make them hear the British motors. Girl I get wet and them want fi super soakers. Our friend add the bonus. Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free.
Della, on the paper. Want a skyscraper in Jamaica, but me nah change. Does I make some change? Give me the money and keep all the fame. Money me a pre, me no care who don't like me. Middle finger for you and she, yo mobby. Every day is a payday. Me have to on the money, I just so me stay here.
Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. Hey, from me idea me need. Dollar on my mind, be a cash me a pre. All I invoice me time cost a fee. Foot on the gas me a work like B. And it no matter how much cash come in, every day I the same RG. You can't shame me for what me like B. Me step over them in a me Nike. Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free.
Roping. People, we collect that back again. One more time. Hold on, wait, people, wait. There we go. All right. Roping, my people, roping. Oh, yeah.
My God!
Yo, that shit I had off the press.
Big up everybody on the live.
Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say
We got a big one tonight.
Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. All me do I trust the process. Me never need no camera.
Roping, people.
Me full of power like the porters. Me never word the hocus pocus, but me flyer than a locust. Girl interrupt me mid-fly fi take the photos. Pull up in at the Lotus, rev the engine, make them hear the British motors. Girl I get wet and them want fi super soakers. Our friend add the bonus. Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free.
Della,
On the paper.
Want a skyscraper in Jamaica, but me nah change. Does I make some change? Give me the money and keep all the fame. Money me a pre, me no care who don't like me. Middle finger for you and she, yo mobby. Every day is a payday.
Instagram.
The money, I just so me stay.
What's up? Facebook. Roping.
One bitch say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash.
No.
Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. Hey, from me idea me need. Dollar on my mind, be a cash me a pre. All I invoice me time cost a fee. Foot on the gas me a work like me. And it no matter how much cash come in. Every day I the same RG. You can't shame me for what me like B. Me step over them in a me Nike.
in,
Ain't
people.
no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free.
All right. Yo, the Lord said you must eat and be satisfied. Yo, walk on. Bless up. How is everybody on the live, people? What's up? All right. First thing first. I want to say big up to everybody on the live. Alien Gov, big up everybody on the live. Yo, thank you guys for coming through. Last week we didn't have a live last week, unfortunately. We couldn't, it just couldn't happen, you know what I mean? So what I did was last week I did a compilation of different live episodes that we had in the previous weeks and put them together for, people that want to watch the rerun, as well as people that has never seen any of the lives before. You could go ahead and check out that episode from last week, right, which is a rerun. Not right now, because we're live right now, but whenever we're done, you can go check that out. If you've never seen the previous episodes, it's just a snip of all the episodes before that, so you can get an understanding of the topics that we talk about on the live and the type of vibe that we have on the live every Sunday here. So yeah, various topics, a lot of fun, a lot of like interesting callers, a lot of interesting commenters in the chat, and a bugga sitting, man. So I encourage you guys, go ahead and check that out. Not right now, but later on. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So everybody, clap on yourself, man. Clap on yourself, man. Yeah, man. Definitely. So today's topic. All right, we're gonna get into today's topic, guys. We want to talk about it a little bit. So, over the past, I want to say year or probably 2 years, I've been hearing a lot in the media about this Jamaica becoming a cashless society. Cashless in the sense that there will be a reduction of the exchange of cash for goods in trade, right? And it should be replaced with a new digital currency. From my understanding, the name of that digital currency is Jamdex. Guys, if anybody in Jamaica could correct me if I say anything wrong, I'm just saying based on what I researched so far. So from my understanding, the name of the digital currency is Jamdex, guys. Jamdex, Jamdex, right? And it's supposed to be used in an app called the Link app or Links app. I'm not sure. It's something of the sort. But anyway, long story short, it's basically something like Cash App. So, guys, for guys that are in the States, you have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. You can send money to people, whether you're giving them money or maybe splitting the bill or something, or if you're paying for something. And it's just a digital system to where you can move money around. But from my understanding, what Jamaica has is it's similar to that, but it's not like you're moving actual currency. You're moving currency in a digital form, basically. So it represents the same thing. It's the same $1 to dollar, 1 to 1, but it's not technically moving cash. It's moving a digital currency, and of course, you can cash out that digital currency into dollars in your bank account and so forth. So Jamaica, particularly the JLP, Andrew Holness's cabinet, is pushing this agenda, very much, pushing it very hard. He wants to get this thing going like really quickly, and he's getting some pushback from it by a lot of entertainers and a lot of people in the general public. They think that the government is being too much in their business, basically. And, a lot of them are like, this is not good. Even I've even heard people refer to this as being the last days, and this being a part of the devil's 666 agenda, basically. And it's related to the mark of the beast. I don't know. So me get it, so me sell it, guys. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We're gonna have a couple callers to call in. You know, I just need to confirm who is who, you know, but definitely some callers already confirmed. I just need to confirm the time that they'll be calling in, basically. But, you know, long story short, I want to go over this topic. We want to talk about the pros and the cons of having a cashless society in the island of Jamaica. And I get the understanding that there's a perception that a lot of people think that they don't want to use cash anymore, but they want to just use digital currency right through. So my understanding is that after doing research is that the Prime Minister is not implementing a cashless society in a literal sense to where there will be no cash at all. There will actually be cash. It's just a reduction of the cash being a form of payment. That's what I understand from it. But you know what? I don't want to say too much here because we got to get down into the topic. And, you know, a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about with the callers, guys. We're here until 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's 9 you would say 9 o'clock JMT or Jamaica time. All right. And if you're talking about England time, England is what, 5 hours ahead. So I think until about 10 p.m. that time. All right, guys, without further ado, guys, let's get into the topic. Yeah. All right. So first thing first, guys, we cannot get into we cannot get into the topic, right? Hold on. Let me fix this. This happens every single time, but it's all right. You know, I'm not at all stressed about it. Okay, not at all stressed about it. Okay, hold on. Bear with me, guys. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. So, yeah. So I think you guys missed this part right here. So this is basically the flyer or the ad for the topic. Jamaica's digital revolution: a cashless future with digital currencies. All right, cool. So before we get into the live, we have to talk about our sponsors, right? So our first sponsor is Katrina Correa, real estate professional with Remax Direct. Phone number 561-420-4722. Katrina Correa, she's a real estate agent, guys. And if you're looking for real estate purchases or rentals in the South Florida area, or if you're looking for raw land to buy or anything related to real estate, you can contact her at 561-420-4722. Her email address is katrina@thejphomegroup.com, or you can contact her at katrinacorrea.remax.com on the web. That's our URL, guys. And so for the people that's in the South Florida area or Florida in general, there's a Hometown Heroes Florida housing program going on that started July 1st of 2023, where all working Florida residents now are eligible to receive up to $35,000 down payment and closing cost assistance to buy a home. Guys, that's a big help right there. You know, let's say you're trying to buy a house for, I don't know, maybe a house is or a condo or apartment is like 300,000 or something. I'll just throwing a number out there, right? And you have 10,000 down. You have 10,000 in cash, right, to go towards the down payment and the closing cost. Well, that's an extra 35,000, so that's 45,000 down on a $300,000 home. So that means after all is said and done, let's say the closing cost is 10,000 and then your down payment is the 35,000 that the government is helping you with, then your the balance which you'll take out the mortgage on will only be $255,000. So guys, definitely if you're a first-time home buyer, you want to look into this program, and Katrina Correa knows all about it. She's very versed, very up to speed and up to date with the real estate world. So definitely go check her out. All right. Our next sponsor is Millennials Trucking for local and long distance shipping throughout the state of Georgia. Millennials Trucking's LLC.com is their website if you want to sign up or use their services. Guys, if you're in the Georgia area or the surrounding area of Georgia, you're looking to haul anything at all, whether it may be big or small, long or short. Hold on. Long or short. Anyways, whether it be big or small, long or short, tall or short, whatever it is, guys. If you're looking to do long haul, short haul, doesn't matter. Definitely hit up millennialstruckingllc.com. They'll get you right. If you're just trying to move stuff out of your house, you got some furniture and stuff like that you're trying to move, they can move you as well. All right, guys. Our next sponsor is White Eagle Electric Inc. South Florida services, commercial, residential, and industrial lighting, home automation, high voltage, low voltage, data fire alarm, video distribution, surveillance system, POE, phone systems, and more. Contact Project Manager Norman at 561-693-7227 or contact Lloyd at 561-541-1185. Guys, if you're looking to hang a ceiling fan, if you're looking to hang a chandelier, or if you're looking to run wires through your walls, just hear me out, guys. If you're looking to run wires through your walls, contact White Eagle Electric Inc. They will get you right. If you're in the South Florida area, you're looking for good electricians that know their stuff, that's been in the business for over 30 years, definitely contact White Eagle Electric Inc. All right? All right, so our next sponsor is Lloydersville Citizens Association. Guys, the Lloydersville Citizens Association, they had a really, really good event that happened on the August 19th, almost a month ago. And it was an event to raise money, I believe, for the treat that's gonna happen for the kids later on in this year in December, I believe. And they had guys that performed such as Terry Butler, Rooksy, Darren, Higher Realms, Access, and many more. And there's going to be more events going on, particularly in the area of Lloydersville, St. Catherine, the Brassington Basic School. They're a very, very good organization that's helping out the community. So definitely contact them on Facebook if you want to be a part of it, if you would like to donate and help what's going on. All right, the Lloydersville Citizens Association. All right, and then our next sponsor is Island Buzz Restaurant for great tasting Jamaican food in Delray. Island Buzz. Their location is 1701 West Atlantic Ave. That's in Delray Beach, South Florida, guys. The phone number is 561-634-5980. That's 561-634-5980. All right. And the email address is islandbuzzjg@gmail.com. Now the website is Island Buzz Caribbean Cuisine, right? Instagram is island_buzzjg, and Facebook is Island Buzz. Guys, if you're in Delray Beach or the surrounding areas like Boca, West Palm Beach, Boynton, wherever it is, they got lunch specials for $9, guys. Only $9. Your choice of brown stew chicken, jerk chicken, curry chicken with a side of rice and peas and a canned soda. You can't beat that. Side orders are $5 a piece. They also have drinks, natural juice, coconut water and that stuff, fresh natural juice. They have salads, jerk chicken salad, grilled chicken salad, shrimp salad, a lot of seafood, escovitch, fish, steamed fish, curry shrimp, brown stew fish, and very nice appetizers for all the wing lovers. Barbecue wings, fried wings, jerk wings, spicy wings, chicken Caesar wrap, all kind of stuff. Guys, definitely check them out. Island Buzz Restaurant for great tasting Jamaican food in Delray Beach, South Florida. All right, guys. All right. So let's get into the topic, right? So, guys, if you didn't catch the first part of the live, right? The topic is Jamaica's digital revolution, a cashless future with digital currency. All right. So let's begin. Jamaica, known for its vibrant culture, stunning landscapes, and warm hospitality, is on the cusp of a digital revolution that could reshape the way its citizens conduct financial transactions. The concept of a cashless payment system driven by digital currencies has been gaining momentum globally. In this article, we will explore what it would look like for Jamaica to embrace a cashless payment system based solely on digital currencies. And guys, for all that, the people that don't live in Jamaica, look at this beauty right here. Man, look at this beauty right here. Can somebody tell me what place is this? I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds. I would like to know what area this is in Jamaica, because oh my God, I can say this, it's just beautiful, you know, just very very nice scenery. I'd like to know more about this little area right here. Big up everybody on the live. Big up Alien Governor. Up LV. Big up First Millennial Entertainment. Big up Top Man Dancehall. Mad thing. You don't know. Yeah man guys. So tell me which part, because guess what, no? I would like to go to this little area in Jamaica. I think it looks like the place in Ochi that they call Blue Hole, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, you guys can comment that. Alright, so the current landscape. Before delving into the potential future of a cashless Jamaica, let's examine the current payment landscape. Like many countries, Jamaica relies heavily on traditional cash and banking systems for everyday transactions, right? However, this reliance on physical currency comes with various challenges, including security concerns, high cost of cash management, and limited access to financial services for remote communities. And guys, you guys are probably from anybody that's lives in Jamaica or lives in the islands, you know this, you know what I mean? When you live in certain communities that's up in the hills or certain far country place that a lot of people call bush, you know, you don't have access to certain things, or even if you do have access to certain things, it's not reliable. You know, these are things like electricity, internet access, communication, that type of stuff, right? And even running water, which is kind of crazy, you know? So this new system is basically to help to navigate that, so we can avoid having to not be connected in the world as far as payment systems wise, because of the internet connection is down, or you know, things of that nature. You should be able to do a transaction basically anywhere in the world, and I'm assuming that they're referring to remote places will be using cellular phone data signal or satellite signal to use their connection and make payments between phone systems and tablets, computers, thereabout, right? So the vision for a cashless Jamaica, right? The transition to a cashless payment system based on digital currencies would require a comprehensive strategy that addresses both infrastructure and consumer adoption. Here's what Jamaica's journey towards a cashless future might look like, right? Digital wallets for all. To enable widespread adoption, every Jamaican would need access to a digital wallet, essentially a secure app on their smartphones or other digital devices. These wallets would store digital versions of Jamaican dollar, and potentially other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guys, and if you look right here, this is link. So from my understanding, and guys, you can hit me to it in the comment section, as well as hit me to it in the if you want to call in, right? So Link is an app, right, that Jamaicans are using, right? So excuse me, Link is an app which is basically a wallet for digital currency, the Jamaican digital currency called Jamdex, right? Jamdex, and this is being implemented by the government through the banks, and I believe NCB is one of the main banks that's introducing this to society. So you download the app Link, right, and you can transfer money to and from, to make payments, or you know, give people money back, or accept money from people, whether it be payment or just people gifting you money through the app, the Link app, and the term for the currency is called Jamdex. All right. So number 2, digital identity. To ensure security and accountability, a robust digital identity system would be crucial. Each citizen would have a unique digital identity, making transactions traceable and secure. All right, so if anybody on here knows anything about cryptocurrency, yes, one of the things about cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that, there is a digital identity when moving money around, from my understanding, and there's even an identity for each transaction that happens. So each transaction that happens, there's a way to trace it basically. And I see, I'm not the cryptocurrency expert, but basically, long story short, everything that happens it's secure as in like privacy wise, but then if information needs to be pulled for legal purposes, it can be pulled. So that's basically, you know, the idea behind it, you know, and I'll get down into why the government is so interested into it, right? All right, so merchant adoption. Merchant adoption, retailers, restaurants, and businesses of all sizes would need to embrace digital currencies, right? They need to. This would involve setting up digital payment terminals and offering discounts, important discounts, or incentives for customers who choose to pay digitally. So, guys, I brought up earlier Jamdex, no cash, no problem, as you can see here. Jamdex is the currency that is being used on the Link app, right? And the Link wallet app, right? So Jamdex is the money that you're moving around. As you can see, they make the logo looks like a ackee, which is funny as hell because ackee is the national dish, right? Well, somebody in the Jamaican government or the financial system has a sense of humor. Anyways, all right. So yes. So in order for this to work, guys, the retailers, restaurants, and businesses of all sizes, they have to embrace it. And a part of embracing it is not just accepting it as a form of payment. Guys, if for this to work, these restaurants, these retailers, they have to give a certain type of discount or something like that, or some type of incentives for people to be encouraged to want to use this type of currency and spend with them, or else people are just going to spend cash because they don't trust anything digital anyway. They don't trust the government. So why would they trust a currency a new digital currency that the government is implementing? But I'm not sure what's going on in the government. From my understanding, is to sign up, you get I think they gave you like a certain amount of maybe $2,500. I don't remember. I read something about that. To sign up for it, you get money to sign up for it, which is kind of cool, you know. But at the end of the day, people could sign up for it and not really use it. You know, they could just take the money, right, the sign up money, and not use it. But if similar to credit cards where you get cash back, like if you have an Amex card over here, you spend it in a certain business, you get cash back. It encourages you to want to spend off your Amex or your other credit cards because you're gonna get discount. And even when I open up my bank, like I bank with, I don't want to. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what bank I bank with because they gotta pay me for this promotion. But anyways, the bank that I bank with, when I log into my bank, right, I open it up. I can look and I scroll and I see every single business that if I spend with any of these businesses, I get a particular amount of discount, like with a 5% off, 10% off, or anything like that. The reason why is because they're encouraging me to use my card and you to spend whenever I'm making purchases and not use any other cards to spend. So I think that if this is not already something that the government and the financial sector and retailers have already implemented, they need to look into this because this could probably help people to take on to the currency more. Andrew Holness, if you're listening, or anybody from the cabinet, if you guys are not already on this, then you need to be on this, all right? Okay, so number 4, government support. The Jamaican government would play a pivotal role in this transition. They would need to regulate and oversee the digital currency ecosystem, protect consumer rights, and promote financial inclusion. In addition, they could explore the creation of a national digital currency to complement existing cryptocurrencies. So that is what they already did, right? They already implemented Jamdex, which I went over before. And as you can see, this is a picture of Andrew Holness looking very stern, as how people know him to be. He wasn't that stern when Jamaica just voted him in. You know, he was a lot more likable, but now he's more stern, you know what I mean? But big up yourself, Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness. So this says Prime Minister Andrew Holness blast critics over cashless society. And that I'll play a version of that video when we get to the end of the presentation so you guys can see where that come from. But long story short, the government is implementing it, so it already has the government support, right? Okay, so the other part of the presentation, the benefits of a cashless society. Now we want to get down into benefits, right? All right, so financial inclusion, right? one of the most significant advantages would be increasing financial inclusion. A cashless society allows even remote and underbanked communities to access financial services through their smartphones, reducing the need for physical bank branches. Guys, so I don't know about you, right? But I know quite a few people, and I'm ashamed to say this, but I know quite a few people in Jamaica that don't have a bank account. And, you know, their reasons for not having a bank account are, you know, various reasons. They don't trust banks because there's a lot of fees. Every single thing you have to do, every single activity, the bank is charging you a fee. And I don't blame them to not want to pay the fees. You know what I mean? But guys, I'm telling you, you need to have a bank account. You know, I understand the fees aren't good, but maybe try to explore your options to see maybe the right bank that you can bank with that has no fees or the least amount of fees. Because if you're doing anything in this present day society in 2023 and you don't have a bank account, I'm sorry, it's not gonna get too far. You need to have a bank account. It's a must. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, they don't have bank accounts. From my understanding, they can use this system as well. The cashless cryptocurrency, or the government cryptocurrency, Jamdex, or digital currency, for people that are underbanked, that don't have bank accounts, as well as the people that are in remote places. As you can see, this is a picture of people in remote places. Their classroom is literally outside on the dirt. You know, I'm not sure what part of Jamaica this is. It might not even be Jamaica, but you know, guys, these are the reasons why this thing is being implemented. All right, so continuing with the benefits, right? Reduced crime. The reduced reliance on physical cash would likely lead to a decrease in cash-related crimes such as theft and counterfeit. So guys, I'm not sure if you have been paying attention to the Jamaican media since 2023, but from my understanding, there has been probably close to 10 armed robberies on ATM machines since the year started. And this is because Jamaica is such a cash dependent and cash reliant society. Guys, like, if people know that there's cash moving around with limited amount of firepower and manpower guarding that cash, they're gonna take their chances. And of course, you have inside job as well. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I see this happening a lot. One of the things that can prevent these type of crime is to have a cashless society. And cashless, not in the sense of there being we're not using cash at all, but cashless in that more people that are heavily reliant on cash are using more digital currency than cash. That's particularly what I'm saying here. Also, counterfeiting. Guys, if you ever had any type of business and accepted cash and found out that the money was counterfeit, oh my God, that feeling that you get when you look up and that person gone, especially if they drive a car and they stopped on the roadside, pay you give them your goods, you give them whatever, the service, whatever, and they pay and they gone, drive off, you'll never see them again. When you look up, it's a counterfeit money. I tell you, that hurt bad. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that can relate to that. So that could definitely cut down people being scammed through counterfeiting and stuff like that, because counterfeiting is a very popular crime in Jamaica, all right? Also, the third benefit is efficiency. Guys, this is a very important thing. Money should be able to move quickly. It should be in a split second. If somebody is paying you or giving you money, you should be able to do it in a split second. You shouldn't have to get up and leave your house and go somewhere and go through the bank and this and that. That is stupid. That is old time thing, Virgin. You understand? Money should be able to move by the drop of a dime if you want to send money anywhere in the world, not only in Jamaica. So digital transactions are faster and more efficient than traditional cash transactions, reducing wait times in stores and increasing productivity. Definitely, it also increases productivity. Have you ever been in a line before, right? And you're waiting to be served. And one of the things that's holding up the line is people paying with cash. They're paying with cash, and then people are trying to count up the money. Excuse me, and then they have to count up the change and give them back one bag of thing. Well, if you had a system to where they could pay digitally, they could ring up whatever the charge is in the machine or the phone or whatever they have, and somebody has their phone, they put in a code or they just put their phone, poops, and it go through in the drop of a dime, you know what I mean? And then the line keep moving. So that's important, you know. The fourth thing is transparency and accountability. Now, this is where I think I will get a little bit of pushback, you know, and I think that the government will get a lot of pushback, right? So every transaction would be recorded digitally, enhancing transparency, reducing tax evasion, and making it easier to track financial transactions for both individuals and businesses. Now, guys, there's a difference. There's a thing called tax evasion and there's a thing called tax avoidance. Now, in the eyes of the government, tax avoidance is good. Tax evasion is bad. Tax avoidance is basically finding ways and loopholes in the system to avoid paying taxes. So if you had like a certain type of business activity that you never normally do, but because you find out, you know what, if I start do this business activity, there's some type of tax credit or tax deduction that comes with it, even though it's not the normal nature of your business, you go ahead and pick it up just so you can get that credit or that deduction and save your money on taxes. Now, tax evasion is, let's say you're running a business, right? And you have multiple forms of income. And then there's a form of income that you did not report that you made. So for example, let's say you made $1 million in the year and you only report that you made 500,000. That's tax evasion. And guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but you can go to jail for that. Even in Jamaica and America, the government frowns upon that. So the reason for this digital system is to help to avoid tax evasion. Now, I would go down deeper into this whole tax evasion and why it's important for people to pay tax. But I'll wait until I'm on a call with somebody because I would need time to explain it, and I don't want to be misconstrued or to seem as if I'm working for the government because, guys, technically, I'm not. I'm not working for the government. But, from my perspective, somebody that's in a different economy and somebody that's in a different financial world and I see how cashless and digital payments, right, help the society to move forward, and that's why I'm somewhat for this digital currency, and that's but I'll say more of my opinion about it. Okay, all right, so challenges and concerns. Of course, we couldn't talk about the pros and not talk about the cons, because for everything there's a good side and there's a bad side. So let's talk about the bad side. All right, so while the transition to cashless Jamaica holds significant promise, it also presents challenges and concerns, right? One of those concerns is security. Why? You can't get it from security. People can steal your money through, you can get robbed through counterfeiting or armed robbery, but you can also get robbed through digital currency as well, right? So security. Digital currencies are not immune to cyber attacks. Ensuring robust cybersecurity measures is paramount to protect users, funds, and data. So yeah, definitely they are not 100% safe, but nothing is 100% safe. But they're very secure, guys, and a part of their security depends on the person that's using it as well. Because if you allow yourself to be compromised, you will be compromised. But if you follow the certain steps of how to secure your digital currency, then you won't have to worry about that, okay? All right, so the second concern is, our challenge is consumer education. Many Jamaicans may be unfamiliar with the digital currency and digital payment system, necessitating extensive educational initiatives, right? So there's a lot of people, they don't want to use it only because they don't know about it. I'm sure the things that I brought up in this live, right, so far, and I haven't even finished it, a lot of the people in Jamaica, they don't know nothing about that. They haven't heard anything about that. And that's probably one of the main problems with introducing this thing or implementing this system, because people just aren't aware of it. They heard about it, but they don't know enough about it to understand how it can help them, right? And the negatives and the positives, so they can make a conscious decision to think about, okay, well, am I ready to use this thing, right? The third challenge is privacy. Balancing the benefits of transparency with the individual's privacy will be a delicate task. So, as I said, guys, about cryptocurrency, there's always a digital footprint for every single transaction, and that takes away some level of privacy. So this information won't be available to the public, but to certain governing bodies or governing authorities through the legal system, they're able to run this information that's in the digital footprint of everything that happens. So, as I said, guys, nothing is truly private, right? And that's kind of the reason for the system, because they're trying to get people that are doing fraudulent activities, illegal activities, as well as people that are doing tax evasion. But that's not the only reason for the system. There's other reasons. There's multiple reasons why the government would want to implement this system. Okay. All right. So conclusion: the vision of a cashless Jamaica with digital currencies is an ambiguous but promising one. It has the potential to revolutionize the country's economy, improve financial inclusions, and enhance overall security and efficiency. However, the journey towards the future will require careful planning, investment in infrastructure, and education to ensure that every citizen can participate in this digital revolution. If executed thoughtfully, Jamaica could lead the Caribbean region into a new era of financial innovation and prosperity. Now, Jamaica, we know that Jamaica people, they want to be first in everything. They want to be the leaders and front runners in everything, But there's a lot of Jamaican people that they just think backwards, and then a lot of them, it's not that they think backwards, it's just that they don't trust the government. And then some of them, it's not that they don't think backwards and that they don't trust the government, but they are apprehensive to start doing something. They don't want to be the first one to do something, whether it may be something that may help them. Nobody wants to be a guinea pig, But in order to prevent this, like I said, there's a couple points that I brought up that the government could use to implement this better if they are not already used these methods or exhausted these methods, right? So here are the live questions, guys. Here are the live questions. Are Jamaicans mentally ready to move to a cashless system? Do you think a cashless system will improve the economy and life of the Jamaican population? Why do people think a cashless system is the mark of the beast? Does Jamaica have the proper telecommunications infrastructure to implement a cashless system? Would you feel safer in Jamaica with a cashless system? Does the Jamaican government have any other motives to go cashless besides increased tax collection and transparency? Do we need to have cash in case of natural disasters or financial meltdowns? So all those things are important, financial crisis and all that stuff. What happens if that happens, when the internet connections are down and all that stuff, because that could happen, right? So anyways, guys, before I get into the calls, let me go ahead and I want to play this video to give more context, right, towards the topic, basically, right? So I'm going to head and play this video of Prime Minister Andrew Holness talking about the cashless society. And this video is called Holness Blast Critics Over Cashless Society Claims. So, this is Andrew Holness, and him get kind of upset because of some of the claims that people are making about this new cashless system that he's trying to implement. But I'll let TVJ News explain it. All right?
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has fired back at critics who have been circulating information suggesting that the government is removing cash from the system.
Speaking at the Inter-American Development Bank's Digital Transformation Forum,
Welcome back. Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has fired back at critics who have been circulating information suggesting that the government is removing cash from the system.
Speaking at the Inter-American Development Bank's Digital Transformation Forum in St. Andrew today, Mr. Holness described the claim as simply stupid.
Kelisha Williams explains why.
Sections of social media have been in a frenzy following an increased push by the state, particularly the Bank of Jamaica, to increase digital transaction services to the public. Some people have interpreted the initiative to be an attempt to make Jamaica completely cashless. But speaking at the AC Hotel in St. Andrew on Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness rubbished those claims.
There is no attempt by the government to remove cash, meaning paper money, from the system.
Mr. Holness said he's actually worried that Jamaicans would interpret the information in that manner.
Just stop for one moment. Just be rational. Why would the government spend billions of dollars to change currency to a new, durable banknote that we don't have to be changing it ever so often, only to turn around and take it out of the system? Don't you see it is stupidness? But the number of people who have followed it gets me worried about what Jamaicans are consuming as information.
He further questioned the logic of the concerns raised.
Where is our reasoning? And why is it so simple for us to be attracted by rumors? As your Prime Minister, I have a duty to call it out when I see it.
And while Mr. Holness stressed that there are no plans to mandate digital currencies, he urged Jamaicans not to fear the technology, as it could be beneficial in conducting certain transactions. He said the conversation should be about how the government can strengthen the laws to protect the rights of people in the digital age.
It is very hypocritical, because it's the same people who are trying to prevent you from using technology are using technology. When you see them post, tell them, come off TikTok, come off Twitter, and go and talk in the town square.
The explanation came as the IDB hosted a forum on digital transformation on Wednesday to outline strategies for government services to become digital. TVJ News was advised that over the next few months, several public sector organizations will take more of their operations online, and the private sector will also follow suit.
I think there's a significant gap there. We need to find a way to communicate the objectives of going digital to our people.
Or four main rails that we started out with, and I think we have mentioned each of them right here. Rail number one was connectivity. We have to be connected for this to work.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
All right, people. So guys, you see that. So that was Prime Minister Andrew Holness. He was basically disgruntled at the people that are spreading the message that him and his cabinet are implementing a cashless system, in the sense that there will be no cash. So his argument is that it doesn't make any sense because why would the government bring in new cash notes, right, or bank notes that are more durable and so forth, so on, if they're gonna bring in a cashless system to where you're not gonna use cash? So he's basically killing that argument right there, guys. So I'm glad he cleared that up, because at first, when I was hearing this about a year ago or so, that was how it was presented to me. I'll be totally honest. It was presented to me in a way that, okay, well, Jamaica is trying to avoid using cash at all. Like, you won't even have cash at all, basically, and everything will have to be done through a digital currency or bank card or whatever it may be. So he definitely cleared that up. I'm glad he cleared that up. So it's exactly what I thought. once I did the research, yes, the government is trying to reduce the use of cash for exchange and more use digital currency. All right, guys. So before we start the calls, guys, let me line up. Yo, 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 yo. All right. Big up everybody. Big up everybody for the live. Now I mean, big up Alien Gov. Big up in yourself. Big up in yourself. Big up First Million Entertainment. Big up Top Man Dancehall. Big up our chin. Big up yourself, youth. Big up BL Boss. Active. Wagwan, my general. Bless up BL Boss. Big up Factify World Forum. This is a clear Factify World Forum say this is a clear sign of control. Hold on, Factify World Forum. Let me go ahead, right? And I want to pin that comment. Let's see. Hold on for a sec, guys. I want to where's my oh, never mind, I'll find it later. But Factify World Forum, big up yourself. You don't know the strips. Who else may I go big up? Lorna Smith, mama, big up mums. No sound test this mic. I'm not sure that came from, but big up mommy. Okay, no, all right. You know what I mean? My mom make sure to send my mic in check. You know what I mean? Big up yourself, moms. Anika, big up yourself. All right, so we're gonna get into the first call. You know what I mean? We got Carlos on the way. So let me take this off. Do not disturb. Carlos, you can go ahead and call the number. It's 561-594. 561-594-1015, Carlos. You can call the number. If you don't call, hear what? I call you. Yeah. Nothing wrong. I'll call you. All right.
Hello.
Carlos.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Everybody make some noise to Carlos. Yeah, man. What go on?
I'm there, you know. This I go and take you, the live and everything. And I mean, great explanation on the whole cashless system that's about to be implemented in Jamaica. Yeah, I like the introduction.
Respect.
Yeah. But before I proceed, I just wanna encourage everyone on the live to like and share and tell your friends to subscribe because whatever Tristan is doing here is for a good cause. I mean, it's very informative at the same time. We can all leave this show feeling that we have learned something. So I just encourage just share on live, man. Share and ask everyone else to subscribe. He's doing something good over here. All right. Yeah, but very good topic, Tristan.
Respect.
But before I give my 2 cents on this, I'm gonna put a disclaimer that whatever I'm about to say now, it is not necessarily fact. I'm just giving my opinion.
Right.
I mean, if anyone on the live wish to challenge or oppose whatever I'm saying, I mean, it's okay for you to do that, but I'm just giving my 2 cents, as always.
Right.
Yeah, that's my purpose here. So, no, Tristan, cashless. Why? But I see this, the topic here, babble on the most every Jamaicans like for a while now, you know. Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody is thinking that it's a control mechanism and thinking that they don't want it. But I mean, I have my opinion. So I would just say what I have to say right now. All right, what do I think about this whole cashless system in Jamaica? I mean, I think a cashless system in some instance is not so bad because as based on what Tristan said in his introduction as to where like a cashless system, it will be good for some people in the sense that like if they're gonna doing their transactions and they feel as though as if they want to feel more safer doing their transaction, and then it will be better for us to have a cashless system versus you have to go to the ATM and get cash on the ATM, then go to Tom and pay Tom for some orange, and go to if you're gonna do a transaction like at a store, you have to get the cash and pay for it and use the cash to pay for your clothes at the store. If you're going to buy a pot, you can use the cash and paper. So I can see where the cashless system, in a sense, it kind of remove the number of time that you have to put in to go from one location to the next to get your cash. And as you see in Jamaica, where like most of the time they get cash, you see when there's a very long line when you're trying to get cash on the ATM. But that's just one of the main ways of getting cash. Because I mean, I've been there, so I know exactly what it's like to go through that system. But on the other hand, there are others who think that they don't necessarily want to go to a cashless system because they have grew up all their life using cash as their main ways of doing a transaction. So they're not necessarily interested in that kind of system. But I mean, as I said before, this system it really has its good and its bad. And I think if we just allow it to be implemented, though, we can challenge it then, and then we can come to a conclusion to say we don't really want this to work. But you know what though, there's a lot of countries except from Jamaica, like I'm talking about European countries, that are contemplating using this cashless system. For example, Sweden is one such country where they have been one of the first country to come up with the banknotes, and now they might be one of the first countries in Europe to start using a cashless system, because in Sweden, I think there are like 32 ATMs for 100,000 people in operation. So they appreciate, and most people they have their credit cards and debit cards. They are already used to a digital cash kind of system where they don't necessarily use cash, but they have like other methods or means of making their payments. So they are already used to that kind of system. Finland and China, a lot of other countries are moving towards that kind. But though, not just Australia, we're talking about Jamaica. Jamaica being a so-called third world country wherein like there we talk about infrastructure there, we talk about technology being a little lacking in a sense. So they're not really, a lot of people say that they're not on par with first world countries. So implementing a cashless system in Jamaica, which is still in a developing stage, I could see where like there would be a lot of challenges towards that, because there's other things that needs to be in place for us to fully adapt a cashless system. Because if we're going to fully adapt a cashless system in Jamaica, we have to take a lot of factors into a lot of things that might transpire. First one I always look at is the informal sector. And the informal sector basically it just comprises of like the regular man who sell in their cane on the side of the road, or a man who is selling soup, or someone who is selling porridge, or someone who is just doing like a regular type of business based on the same image that you see in your introduction, Tristan. Those people who are just doing those kind of business for years, like their only method of accepting payment is really cash. Right. And they have never experimented on using a cashless system, so they're only used to that. So I could see where there could be a fight or a pullback from them not wanting to use a cashless system. But nonetheless, though, if they should look at if they should look at the cashless system in the sense that, like, if they should be under siege by a robber, I don't want to take their money. The robber might could go there and say, all right, give me your money. But if there's no cash, because cash is like one of the easiest form of commodity which part. Like if a robber go there, they can just take it and go. But if there's no cash and that seller has their money is in a digital wallet, the robber cannot take away the digital wallet.
Even if they steal their phone.
Yeah, exactly. They cannot take it away. So in that sense, it's some form of safety for them. But I just think, like, in order for them to really accept it, though, I think it takes a lot more information that needs to be circulated, whether it be in the media, whether it be from government, so that they can understand. Because that's one of the reasons why you think, or you hear that whenever the talk of digital currency being mentioned in Jamaica, a lot of people just think that, hey, we're not going to get into this thing because it is a form of control mechanism. They don't look at it as though it's just like a more reliable means of making transactions. It makes it more easy and it's more time convenient and it has less riskiness to a certain extent. I mean, we can talk about the risk further on, but that's some of the good thing that I see in a cashless system being implemented in Jamaica. And then a lot of times a lot of Jamaicans argue now, why are we trying to go cashless? Why are we trying to go digital? But if you should think about this thing on a broader scale, you look already Jamaica is already digital. Because the mere fact that some people are using like a debit card or a credit card, it's not like you're physically using the money. You're not physically holding money. It's like the money your money is in the bank, and you use your debit card or your credit card, whatever it is, to make your form of payment. Already, Jamaica is somewhat being introduced to a form of digital kind of payment already. The other thing is that like this new digital form of wallet or digital form of Jambex that they're referring to, it is more synonymous to like we're using Cash App or PayPal or this other form of payment here. Zelle, Venmo in the US. It's kind of different, but I mean, in a sense, it's kind of similar. But as I said before, it is not something that is cultured in Jamaica. And whenever you find out that anything it is like any form of payment method, anything that has to do with Jamaica's money is you're gonna experiment on that. The first thing that Jamaicans, they're gonna cry foul because they're gonna think that, hey, they're gonna try to control my money. They're gonna try, and of course I can see why they're doing that, because if you should look at the whole history of money and where it's coming from, you look at the different class of money, and you will see where like we're now looking at this thing where they call the public digital wallet, which is the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Where with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, where it's on a public ledger where the owner of the cryptocurrency, however, it is on a blockchain ledger. So each transaction that is being done, everyone can see the transaction. If there should be a transfer of ownership from one crypto to the other, everyone can see. The only thing is that no one can who is on that chain can edit the ledger. It's almost like an Excel spreadsheet where no one can edit the spreadsheet. Unlike a digital wallet, which is like which a lot of countries are adopting. The digital private wallet, it is different. With a digital private wallet, it is more centralized as opposed to a public wallet.
Right.
With the digital private wallet, where the central bank has more say in that. They have more control. So in other words, if you, for example, like you have like your currency in a private digital wallet. Unlike with a public wallet where you have saying it, with a digital wallet now it's different, because the government could say, all right, we're gonna reduce the amount of money that is being spent like on a particular item or particular goods. And I guess that is where the concern comes in now, because people would prefer like a more public digital wallet where like they have more say in their money versus a digital wallet. And with a private wallet now, people are like just think that there's too much control involved in that. So and that's why
explain that the public versus private digital wallet.
All right, so with the public digital wallet now, based on the information that I've gathered, and like this is more like a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, where in that wallet, with cryptocurrency, it's like on a blockchain, where on the blockchain there's like a public ledger. There's a ledger where every transaction, everything that has been done, within for cryptocurrency, everyone who has ownership can see it. So if like there's a transfer of ownership from one owner to the next, everyone within that everyone can see it. But the only thing is that you cannot edit that ledger. Right. It's more like an
it's written in stone.
Yeah. Unlike a private ledger now. A private ledger, it is almost synonymous to the public ledger. But the difference is that though, you the owner, if you have your cash in the bank, and it's not like you can physically like change or do anything to it. It's like it is centralized, meaning that like just like the central bank, they have control over everything. You cannot see who else have ownership in other currency or whatever it might be. It's only the central bank who has control over that. You know what I'm saying? So they have more say. So what I get to understand is that, like, for example, if times should get rough, they are saying that the fact that the central bank they have more control over the currency, over the digital currency that they have created. If they decide that, oh, you know what, Tom Brown is probably getting too much money to pay on gas, you can say, all right, you know what, we're gonna cut down the amount of whatever money they are getting to like $50,000 or whatever it might be. They have more regulations over that. And I guess
What you mean? But explain that though. What you mean cut down and what Tom Brown is?
What I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to say that, not Tristan, where like this is not necessarily the case. I'm just giving like a hypothetical situation where like they're saying if it's a case where with the digital wallet, if they are saying like we have control over Tom's money in this sense with this wallet, and we are saying all right, if like too much transaction is coming out like on a daily basis, it's going out, and they might say all right, we're gonna reduce this transaction like if it's $5,000 going out there, we're gonna cut it down to like the $4,000 or whatever the case may be. I just said that to say it has more control.
So similar to a bank, because a bank can put restrictions on
exactly.
you, but there's but it only for security purposes. It can't be because they want to control how you're gonna spend your money. It's more so to secure your money to make sure that there isn't fraudulent activity, because the bank knows that you can just take out your money from them and go bank with somebody else if you can't able to spend your money how you want to spend it.
I mean, like, you see, the thing is that one might argue. Well, I understand where you're, and that's why I say it's really, really an hypothetical situation, because one might say because the bank might want to do that for your own safety. That might not necessarily be the case. That might not necessarily be the case, because a lot of people think that the banks, I mean, and because they link, and reshape is a central bank. When I say the bank here, I'm referring to central bank really and truly, not necessarily like our banks. So they might have an agenda, because they might have an agenda where they want to. Reshape is a case where we have inflation. If you're going through inflation, like you have to control the money, the monetary, the supply of money. You don't want to have like too much cash out there chasing too few goods, because you have too much cash chasing too few goods, then that can eventually lead to hyperinflation. You get what I'm saying? So that can contribute to. So I could see where there want to be like a curtail of the flow of money in the system itself. So that, I mean, and this is just me, like I'm just speculating on that. You get what I'm saying? That might not necessarily be the case, but I'm just arguing in the sense that like I could see why some people might look on it like that, you know? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of see it differently. I agree with you, about the control aspect of it. I think that's a good way for the government to have control, but there's different levels to it. I think that yes, a part of it is control, but then a part of it is also to have an improved structure to where the flow of trade can be a lot smoother, and then there can be more trade, because smoother trade means that there will be more trade, and more trade will increase the GDP. And as you know, the bigger the GDP, or the more GDP per capita, is the better the economy get, and the more attractive the economy is, and the better people's lives become, because that means that things are being produced and being consumed. So where their things are being produced and consumed, the people that are producing them are making money from it and making a living, hiring more people, and so forth, so on. It basically trickle down economy, right? So all right, so go ahead.
I mean, to get me wrong, Tristan. A lot of times, like I know that like with all the monetary policies that they're using, I say, all right. Whenever we are going through like an economic meltdown where there's less cash in the system, then of course we're gonna have to come up with a policy in place where, because we don't want to see anything happen like 2008 meltdown. We're gonna have to come up where the bank come up with like a regulatory system where the reserve requirement ratio, where like a certain percent, like a 3% of depositors' money are being kept in the bank. That means in the event there should be like a run-on bank, there will be enough money there. There will be like a reserve to curtail that. So yes, I totally get it. That to a large extent, that's their aim. But sometimes, though, I mean, there are other ulterior motives. I cannot prove it totally, but I've history have shown that a lot of times the bank has ulterior motive. It is not always the case of they generally wanting to protect the depositors and protect their funds. There have been a lot of information out there which can support that,
But I look at things like what causes a run-on bank, right? A run-on bank is people actually going and taking out their cash from the bank, right? And I mean, Carlos, you know this. You're a finance person as well. Um, Banks don't have a lot of cash on hand at a time, right? You know, most of the money is always being circulated through loans that they're making or loans that they're taking, right? So they never have a lot of cash on hand. And even when, let's say, you go and take out a loan from the bank, you're not even gonna get the cash, you know. You're going to get the money transferred in your bank account. So, you know, run and bank is people actually trying to take cash. So I think that can help to prevent a run and bank, because then with this system, you can move your money around, whether it may be wires or transfers, a bank transfer, whatever it is, instead of having to go and try to draw out cash, and then the bank can't operate without cash. So everything would be digitally, you know what I mean? And where it would mess up, I think, is where the other businesses stop doing business with the bank, such as the central bank cutting them off or other bank cutting them off. Now that would be an issue with the bank. But as long as banks are still working with them, they could be low on cash reserves, but as long as they have people working with them, then it'll be a smooth banking process for the customer.
Yeah, Tristan.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, sorry, man. I wasn't here yet. So yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, like, because we definitely don't want to see like a recurrence of what happened in 2008 or the Great Depression, where you have a lot of banks are failing. But don't get me wrong. Even though there are all these monetary policies in place, you know, to protect depositors' money and everything, we still seeing currently where banks are still being failed. You know, especially when you see what happened recently with SVP and Signature Bank in the US, by the way. And then, of course, you have other banks in Jamaica that were failed. But that was back in the early 90s, though, you know. So, like, regardless of all these measures in place, sometimes I say that there are other reasons. Because sometimes, a lot of times, like, which I don't want to get in, sometimes banks, like, they create some of these loans, some of these loans that are being created, like, and they know within themselves that some of these banks, like, the default risk on these loans are very high. You know, they are very high, and a lot of times you see where, like, regardless of them knowing that the default risk on these loans are being high, and it just like transfer to the point where, like, they don't recover money, they recover the whatever they need to cover so to deal with the liquidity issues that they are facing, and because of that, sometimes the bank itself, even though bank, they do not keep all their cash at the institution. Some of the time the banks are also facing liquidity issues. So that's why a lot of times when you have these run and banks, when you have these run and banks and depositors go at once and say we need our money, with the bank being creating loans that tend to have a high default, high default risk, that in a sense it can help to fuel that the run and banks leads to a bank failure, because there's just not enough liquid cash there to take care of those depositors funds that they need right now, you know. So I mean, there are just other ways to look at it, though. But I mean, I don't really want to stray the conversation into bank and
Let's not do that. All right. So here's the first question for you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Are Jamaicans mentally ready to move to a cashless system?
All right, Jamaicans mentally ready to move to a cashless system. If you look at the issue of Jamaica, you see, like, Jamaica has always been going through a stage where they are experimenting on a new like a system that is being used internationally, and given the fact that Jamaica is a so-called third world country, as what they might call a developing country, then whenever it comes to implementing any form of system that involves technology, there is generally a struggle when it comes to that, because it is apparent that we do not have all the technologies and infrastructures in place to deal with the real test of time. Now, when it comes to the using a digital currency in Jamaica, I could see where I do agree that there is going to be a struggle to get this fully implemented into Jamaica on a broad scale, because are you just talking about implementing a digital system in Jamaica for those people who are living in the urban areas? Are you going to factor those who are living in rural areas? If you're going to talk about those who are living in rural areas, you're going to...
Not just the urban areas, just everywhere.
I'm just asking myself a question because I mean everywhere, I know everywhere. So that's understand that they put a distinction between those that live in urban areas and those that live in rural areas.
Right.
So for those that live in rural areas and those that live in urban areas, there is gonna be it's gonna be easier for those who are living in urban areas versus those that are living in rural areas because first thing to comment, people living in urban areas they have more access to internet. They have more advantage, you know. Versus someone who's living in deep rural Jamaica. Those people, they barely have access. Some people barely have access to internet. So if you're going to talk about implementing a system in place where they're going to have a digital wallet where like they can have access to it on their phone, yes, they could probably put a plan on their phone and say, all right, we're going to have access to internet for a while. But after a while, that internet access on their phone is not going to be there worse if there is no money to put on that plan. You know, there's no money to put on that plan. So and they might not even have internet in that area. So if, for example, there's a transaction that they need to pay somebody like right now, and they need to have internet access so they can do their purchase or pay Tom for like whoever it might be for a service that they're being provided with. They will not be able to do it readily because it's just their lack of access to the internet or the type of technology that they need. On the other hand, though, someone who live in like Kingston and the metropolitan areas or Montego Bay or wherever, it will be easier for them because, of course, they are more they have more access to technology, and even if they do not have a plan on their phone, they could still to themselves using that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in order for that to be to adopt a cashless system in Jamaica, to deal with that challenge, I just think like it needs more time. It needs more the government thinking about like developing like more development in terms of infrastructure and technology, not just for urban areas but also for the rural areas. So it will be easier for those. Even Mr. Tom was selling his soup on the road in like one of the deepest rural areas in Jamaica. You can say, all right, this guy just buy a soup from me. He can just go on his phone and pay me, and vice versa. You know. Plus, it also takes a cultural shift to Tristan in order for that to happen because whenever you are embedded with the thought of everything that I'm doing or everything that I do, I use cash. That's what you're used to. Whenever people are used to like a way of doing things, it's all to erase that from their mind or from their way of life culturally. So that's also another struggle that we have to think about. So just to answer your question, it's not the easiest thing to do because you have to think about the culture and technology at large in order for that to be adapted. That's how I look at it.
So are they ready? You think that they're ready? Or you think Jamaicans are ready for a cashless in general?
In general, I don't think we are totally ready for that. But the push towards it, I don't think it's a bad thing though. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. Once there is no other ulterior motive.
Okay, all right. So obviously they can't be ready because just Andrew Holness rolling out the system and just the way how the reception came. Because at first when I heard about it, Carlos, I don't know about you, but when I heard about it at first, I heard that the government is implementing a new cryptocurrency or digital currency that will replace the dollar and replace cash, the Jamaican cash in general, and we won't be using any cash anymore when we're in the country of Jamaica. Everything will be digital. I don't know if that's how you heard it.
You know what? Honestly, you know what? I mean, I heard that talk in bubbling, you know, but to be honest, I don't want to say like, I don't want to sound like I'm picking up for Andrew Williams or I'm not picking up for Andrew Williams or whatever the case may be. But I heard that Jamaicans were thinking that Andrew Williams and the government, they were trying to come up with that digital currency. I don't know if it's cryptocurrency because I think there's a big misconception there. They come up with a digital currency where nobody is they're gonna stop using cash. That's what I heard. You know, but Andrew wanted to declare the year by saying that it wasn't his intention to come up with like a system where no one is using cash because it's not so easy to. That's not their intention because people have to use cash. That's what he said. I don't know if he was just trying to sound politically correct by doing that. But I just think like overall, like I mean, Jamaicans are really not so ready for that for that cash.
Was it that he said it very vaguely, right? Because cashless society, if you look at the word cashless literally, in a literal sense, then that means no cash, right? But is it that there was some ambiguity in the message at first, right? That and then because of that, people receive it a certain way because of the ambiguity of the message, and they receive it in that, okay, cashless in the literal sense instead of cashless in a sense of reducing the amount of cash spending and increasing the digital spending.
All right, you know what? I think there could be some amount of ambiguity in the way Andrew Wallace portrayed that message about cashless, about a cashless system in Jamaica. But then again, we have to think about that there is some form of political thinking when it comes towards that, because some people might be looking at it and say, oh, this government, we don't like him and he's trying to control us. So he might try to come up with this cashless system, and he's making it seem as though as if he's not saying that. So as a matter of fact, I'm not trying to say what Andrew Wallace did not say, and I'm not trying to say what Andrew Wallace said, because I don't want to, there might be some PNP and Labour right on the line.
No, all right, listen, on this program, Carlos, there's no hold back, man. Listen, if you don't support either, then that's fine. So, however you feel is however you feel, in a politics, bro, there's certain things we can agree with or disagree with both parties, right? That don't mean that we're supporting them. And even if you want to come out and say you support a party, who cares? You know what I mean? That's your opinion, and that you have your reason for doing it. You know what I mean?
So, I just said that to say still, and the reason because there was like a little propaganda about this cashless system, and Andrew have to come out and defend himself about what people are thinking about a cashless system in Jamaica. That's why I'm actually saying that, because it's because I'm not actually in Jamaica and I see it in the media though, but sometimes there are some other underlying reason as to why certain things have been said. So that's why I'm saying that, Just put out a disclaimer before I say anything. This is what I heard.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, before we continue, let me read a comment, and then we'll go to the next question. So, Orain Drummond says, it's not to replace the physical currency because the Jamaican government just launched some new notes. So, yeah, based on what Orain Drummond is saying, it couldn't be, because you couldn't be replacing the currency if you just launch new notes. Those things, it wouldn't make any sense to do that. And that's what Andrew Holness clarified.
Yeah, he clarified. Yeah, he clarifies that clearly, and I said I heard his clarification. But I don't know if it was a case where he was like, people on the other end might say like, this is what you said then. I know you're saying that's not what you said. So like, you're lying, So that's like people are actually trying to label Andrew Williams as a liar, and that's why I said, all right, you know what? Let me stay with that political aura going on over there, because I don't want to we don't want to get caught in that. I'm just saying what I have to say and what I think about it, not necessarily what Andrew Williams is saying.
All right, fair enough. All right, so. Do you think a cashless system will improve the economy and life of the Jamaican population?
A cashless system will improve the economy and life of the Jamaican population. Yeah, a cashless system, I could see the implementation of a cashless system in Jamaica. Let's say it will bring up, at first, it will reduce crime. But now also reduce crime when it comes like for example, you see what's going on with the whole beryllium thing, where I don't know if, well, you know what, let me not talk about that. But I could see where the cashless system it prevent less theft. Because we're like a robber will go to Mr. Chin supermarket and say, give me the money and give me the cash. If there's no cash there, you can't keep anything for anybody unless you're going to keep all the merchandise and all the goods in the store. Right? So that's one, that's security. It will make it be more more time convenient, when someone has to do a transaction. Versus you have to go to the ATM and get your money. You can easily just say, all right, this is how I'm going to do payment. So that's already ease of access for people in general. You make their daily life be more. They can rather than have to go into the bank, they can do more things. And also I see where overall it will make it easier even for visitors going to Jamaica. What if they want to go to the outside of, they're not necessarily in the hotel and they want to go on the outside and do a transaction. They see a man on the road, they want to buy some Apple from them. They don't have to take out like US. They can spend from their. They can use their digital wallet to make their payment. So of course, I think it will generally make the economy be better in the sense that it is easier to do a transaction. It's easier for visitors on the outside to come in and transact business in Jamaica. So it make Jamaica be a more friendly place to do business as opposed to the former method where everything that you're doing you have to use cash, where you can be more vulnerable to theft. There can be so many risks that's associated with that, and people tend to like a country or a system where it is easier to conduct business without the use of cash, because if there's no cash involved, then you can feel like, I can go anywhere and conduct my business because I don't have to worry about somebody sticking me up and say they want to take my money and all of that. So, of course, it will make it be so easier to conduct business in Jamaica, and it will contribute to the economy at large because, as I said, there's less cash involved. Physically.
Yeah, and the thing is, I look at it as, when you come to Jamaica, like when I fly down, and the first thing that greet me is the cambio, right? As soon as I get off the plane and get through immigration, right before I get to customs, right? The first thing that greet me is our after custom. I don't even remember. The first thing that greet me is the cambio, right? And usually, they approach me and they say, hey, you need to change any money and stuff. And usually I'm like, I'm good. Because usually I like to change my money at the cambios on the street or whatever. But if I just need like some fast cash and I know I don't want to stop or anything like that, I might change maybe like $100 or whatever, right? With them at the expensive rate that they have. So I'm just thinking, like you said about like with the tourists and stuff, right? If they had this Jamdex that they're bringing in, right? The Jamdex currency. If they have like a little what do you call it? A facility right there, just like how they have the cambio, but they have like a teller that's setting up people that come to have like a Jamdex wallet and install it on their phone right away. You see what I'm saying? So they can load up their money on that, right? And if they need to stop on the road and buy something, purchase something, they don't have to stop and have cash or anything like that. They could stop and then just pay digitally as well. It helps to enhance their safety because, a tourist stop and take out cash and thing. Most times they won't get robbed or anything like that. But, it's not like they can't get robbed because you just take the wrong person to be like, tourist by himself driving a car or with somebody else. And, he's stopped at the roadside spending cash. If I just stick him up with a gun, I can take the money off him right now easily. It wouldn't be so easy if that person is paying without cash. You know what I mean? I don't know. What say you?
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'll tell you something, Tristan. Like, you know what? I think it's really, and this is just my opinion. I think it's really like a rather backward thinking to think like a cashless system or to be able to pay for something digitally is not a forward way for Jamaica, honestly. Because I've been in situations where I am here in the US and like a transaction has been done in Jamaica and I call and I say, is it possible for me to pay for this over the phone? They said no. I said, is it possible for me, because they don't have Zelle. I said, is it possible for me, like, do you have any form of online payment? They said no. The only way you can make this payment is if you have an NTD account and you send the money in the NTD. But I'll say, what if I don't want to use like cash and I'm using like a credit card to make the payment? They said they don't have that system in place. So when I looked into that, I was like, come on, man, Jamaica, this is 2023, and they still classify Jamaica as a developing country. And those are some of the reasons why Jamaica is still being labeled as a developing country, because there's a lot of system that should be in place whenever it comes to conducting business. And if you're that's why we are being labeled as a developing country. Come on, like I think like most businesses in Jamaica right now that have like they have like a website or any form of payment system, they should start like setting up like an online payment or some way they can make a payment. And without those in place, trust me, it's really backward. Okay, I think we need to move forward when it comes to that. They cannot be like your only means of payment is cash or send money to NTBR. Like that's backward to me, honestly.
It's like old time system bridging. We need to, and I think that's one of the things that's holding back Jamaica as an economy, because if we can get this trade internal trade system, and not only internal but external, for people that are trying to spend money in the country with Jamaican vendors, right?
Yeah.
If we can get this trade system right, then I think what we'll have is an increase in GDP, gross domestic product, as well as an increase in trade, an increase in foreign dollars trying to buy the Jamaican dollar. This is just another alternative, a safer alternative for people to convert their money to Jamaican dollars. So I think this will attract more foreign dollars to be converted into Jamaican dollars by having this system, and especially if you push it and advertise it as a safe system, and then the people that you could have these things, Carlos, not only at the airport, but even at the hotels as well.
Exactly. So that's why I said it takes if they're gonna deal with this thing, and it has to. As a matter of fact, you talk about hotel might just be the first place where they try to experiment on this though. Which it just show that probably they just cater for us one industry, because that's one of the main the tourism industry is one of those industries in Jamaica where they get the most remittance from, the most earnings from that. So I could see them wanting to push that, but I think it should try to push that in all sectors in general, because as I said, Jamaica we just need to be at a point where it is easier to conduct business in Jamaica. Yeah, that's just I just think that once you're at that point, I mean, it will let it be investors will want to invest in Jamaica as well. That's another thing, because even though investors are already invested in Jamaica, but that probably need for more investors to say, all right, you know what, Jamaica is a place where it's so easy. But then again, there are a lot more other things in Jamaica that need to be they improved. In order for people to trust it though, because with all this not just scamming thing that's going on right now, and people trying to steal money, that might be a concern. People, there's also this the security concern when it comes to those some of digital transaction in Jamaica. We're going to think about cyber attacks and every other thing. So that need to get fixed, Tristan. That's something that you need to work on.
All right. So let me read this comment before I move on to the next question, Carlos, right?
Yep.
So Factify World Forum said, but how would going cashless help the economy? If the country goes fully cashless, it can... Hold on. How would going cashless help the economy? If the country goes fully cashless, it can also take away jobs from the bank tellers, people that works at the cambio, etc. What do you say about that, Carlos?
You know what? That's a very good question, by the way. I mean, the fact that the country, I don't think the country can go fully cashless. Let me just say that clearly, because there will still be cash will still have to go and be in circulation. So I just have to let it. So I don't think that the aim is to really to go cashless, but just to ease the way the transaction and payment system has been done in Jamaica. So I don't think it's really to go cashless, but really and truly though. I mean, I know that in a lot of banks, they're using tellers to count money for people and all that. But of course it might take away the job, but I don't think bank will generally have to have cash. Honestly. I don't think it will be a case where the banks will no longer be using cash.
Because even here we have a lot of cashless movement of money in America, but we still use cash.
Yes.
We just don't use it that much.
Yes.
I
don't start, but then again, if for the next 20 or 40 years from now, there will be no more cash in circulation, I can almost think that the job of a teller will be obsolete. But then there will be other jobs for them. There will be other jobs within the bank, or they can use the money to the payment system, or some other kind of job will be there. For them. Because if I think about whenever you have anything new has been implemented, it always creates job as well. So you can look at it like that. If there's a cashless system in place, then of course you don't have to have humans that are actually that are being employed to do some form of whatever monitoring or some security or something of that sort. So it's just you take away from one, but you create another job. I look at it like that straight. So I don't think cashless is really a bad thing as well. People look on it, honestly.
So, all right. So, Factify World Forum also said, this is also going to contribute to more cyber crimes as well. Jamaica does not have the system in place for that. which we did speak about that early. What say you, Carlos, about the system in place for that?
I mean, in the initial stage of any system that you're trying to create, especially when it comes to dealing with money and transaction, there's always going to be a concern of cyber attacks. And so the way to deal with, as I said before, they actually approach this method. They definitely have to do more work on the ground by getting this resolved. Because not like, and we cannot totally prevent cyber attacks. We see countries out there with the best the best cyber measures in place. Our companies with the best cyber measures in place. And yes, there are still being attacked. So we cannot. It's not. I just want to let them know that cyber attack is not. I don't think we can protect that, prevent that totally. We only can mitigate against that.
Right.
So regardless of if Jamaica implementing a cashless system and they're going to be cyber attacks. Cyber attacks is going on every day. Every day, these social engineers or whatever they want, but they come up with new and creative means of trying to get money from their victims or whatever they want. So it's not like we can stop that. They'll always be that.
But
that's my answer for that, though.
Check this out. And I brought this up earlier. A part of protecting or a part of cybersecurity, has to do with the person that owns this property or own this information. You understand? Because that person, most times, when those things happen is because of some social engineering or something similar, so where the person has some type of involvement in why they were compromised, so to speak, because maybe you never picked a good password or something like that, or you give out your password to somebody else, or most times I think those things happen whenever somebody never follow a certain protocol of how to keep their information or their data or their valuables safe. I think it is very rare that I think that it are less likely that I think that it happens where somebody just doesn't have any information about you and find you and just basically use code to hack into your system and take, because these systems, they have a lot of they have a lot of people that they pay handsomely to protect it. And if it's a case to where you got hacked and it's not your fault, it's the bank's fault, more than likely the bank is gonna reimburse you because that's their fault. For example, if let's say you have a positive pay system, right, Carlos, and somebody get a hold of your check that you write, and the bank that person cashed your check, cleared, and the bank cleared your check without showing that positive pay check as an exception to you, the owner who wrote the check, then yes, you should have good systems in place, right, in order to prevent your check from being stolen. But if you're like mailing the check or something like that, as soon as that check leaves your premises and goes in the mail, you have no control over it. So that's where your control ends. So somebody that works at the mail, somebody that works at the mail in the mail system could take that check and forge it to whatever they need to do with it, recreate it, and cash that check. Now, that check being cashed is not your fault that happened. It's the bank fault because you had a positive pay system to where there's checks and balances. There's certain specific information that the bank was supposed to look for and check before they cleared that check. And if that information isn't there, then they should prompt it to you as an exception for you to approve it before they clear that check, I
mean, because Tristan, there can always be a lot of preventative controls, everything in place. I don't think at the end of the day, I forgot to say this, at the end of the day, if the concern is about cyber attacks, I think it is really the government or whoever, the banks, they should play their part in public education about digital currency, and this is all about telling them about what they need to look out for, like look at all the security measures that they need to implement. They need to educate the general public of Jamaica about digital currency and the security threats that they can face. They also need a public education. I just think that is needed as well. But overall, though, we can mitigate against cyber attacks, but we cannot totally prevent it. So, and that will always be the case. Because banks come on a cyber attack like daily. A lot of businesses come on a cyber attack daily. Like, can you think about the number of like emails that you got receive on a daily basis with people trying to
Phishing.
to steal fish you, you know?
Right,
steal
but
fish you.
if you get a phishing email and you get caught phishing, then there's some of the responsibilities on you because you click that
Most
link.
of it is on you.
Right,
Most of it is on you.
exactly, because you click the link without verifying that it was a legitimate thing, even though sometimes it looks very, very real, you know. But then again, you are, as a person, you're supposed to really understand the system that you're using and know how to vet what is valid from what is not valid.
And then again, and that's why I say, like, so even if like those in the banks, like what if they're doing like a cashier work and they move out to start doing monitoring, like sometimes they should be there to monitor a lot of these like phishing or emails or anything that's coming in. Because I could speak for myself, Tristan. Like I receive like a lot of phishing emails on my job, a lot. But because I know I'm not acquainted with that person, I've never seen that person send me any email. So immediately it's either like I delete that email. Red flag right away. So that's why I said it needs public education, not just for the youth, not just for like the general people who going to use the currency, but also for the bankers themselves, because you might be surprised that a lot of people who are working in these institutions, they just like, whenever they hear anything about like, oh, you need to do a security awareness test, the certification this month. They say, sure, I can't bother with that. Me myself sometimes look at it like that. You just shove that to the side. This again, I have to go to like a cyber security training this month. They need to have they need to come up implement those. I think some companies might have those in place, but you need to have more of those, something like the insider manner, something they can implement. So I'm like, so people can get more knowledge about what can occur in the event of
people need to be trained because there's a thing. People are generally people are gullible in a Carlos. So sometimes the people aren't thinking, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like these people are competent to do their jobs, but they're and that's how people get scammed all the time. It's not, and when I say gullible, I don't mean it in a bad way, I'm just saying that people, not everybody has an inquisitive mind. You understand? Most people, they're just doing their jobs and they're not really thinking critically about certain things. They're just getting their job done. They're thinking about what they're gonna do when they leave their job. You understand what I'm saying? So you put together a message with something that'll attract them or make them laugh or make them smile or something that they would be probably interested in that can sway their minds into thinking something is real, and that's the thing with even the lottery scams, because you call a man and tell him, say, hey, you win $1 million or how much $1 million and or how do you feel right now and all these things, it's just like your psychology just get knocked right there. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree, sir. Like, I mean, there's just a far way to go when it comes to implementing a cashless system in Jamaica, and security concern is definitely going to be one of those when it comes to like that in Jamaica. So I think to me, it should just be work in progress for the government. If I could talk to Andrew as I said this, there much more thought need to go into this, much more work needs to be done, and they don't rule it out like that. There has to be like you have to give this like a holistically approach this like. And don't just look at it as like those in who have more access. Look at those who are less privileged and those who have less access. In order to let this cashless system work for them, it takes a lot more.
I was saying, Carlos, one of the things, if the government isn't already, and the financial systems and the retailers aren't already doing this, I was suggesting that. Just similar to how when you have your credit card, when you spend your credit card at certain stores, you get discounts and cashback. I was saying they could implement the same thing with the system that they have now, the Jamdex currency through the Link app or the Links app. They could have things to where if you go to like, let's say where's the York Pharmacy or whatever, and you use Jamdex to pay for that item, then you get a discount and things of that nature. You understand? 5%, whatever it may be, discount. So it encourages people to use that to do trade versus use cash because they're trying to save $1.
Well, yeah, you see, I mean, like, you see, but then again, that's a very good thing, honestly. But then again, as I said, it all depends on the individual. Because as simple as you might see, like while I mean, giving them like the impression that yeah, you can get rewards for using the digital wallet at certain like York Pharmacy, like for example. I mean, someone on the other hand might say like, I'm just not interested in this because I mean it's just not my cup of tea. You know, I've heard that they use cash. So it really takes public education when it comes to this. I think I mean what they should even be considering like start teaching more information about cashless system or whatever in the somewhere in our curriculum. You need to start embed this in our curriculum at an early stage, so that I mean the younger generation, I could see them accepting it more versus our older generation, because they say you cannot teach old dog new trick, you know.
All
Yeah,
right.
teach it. So it's gonna be harder for them, for people like older to really accept this system, honestly, whether or not there's rewards for using it.
Fair. All right, so let me read this chat before I go to the next question, Carlos. So Lorna Smith says the country can't go cashless. Cash have to be for small businesses. There are a lot out there. Now, all right, I agree with this. You understand? I agree with this, that yes, there's a lot of small businesses out there. But here's the thing, right? That's the thing. A lot of these people that have small businesses out there, right? If I do a check right now, I can guarantee, and Carlos, tell me if I'm wrong, at least 80 to 90% of those people with small businesses have a smartphone, right?
It's a possibility, you know.
Right? At least, right? Because smartphones are so cheap nowadays that you don't even see the banger phones anymore. Unless, if you see somebody with a banger phone, they're probably scamming. Right?
Yeah.
So at least 80 to 90% of those people have a smartphone that can install the app, the Links app with the Jamdex, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Almost all of these people have WhatsApp. Almost every single one of them. The only drawback that I would say is they might not have, the internet service on their phone on a continuous basis, like 24/7, because you have to pay for it, and then when it runs out, you have to pay for it again. But I would say even if they don't have it on a 24-hour basis, I would like to say at least half of the time they would probably have some type of data. And with this system, I think all you need is data. So if you're running a business, right, a small business, and you can't invest in the money to buy data just to keep data on your phone in order to accept payments, which is an allowable business expense, which you probably would be able to write off in your taxes, then you're not run a business. You're run worse than a patty shop. You see me I say?
Yeah, you know what, Tristan? You know what, like, I kind of agree there, you know, but I beg to differ, though. Cause you know what, like, you see, unlike here, though, I mean, there's so many expenses that, like, you're a person running a business there, and you can write off your expense, and then you reduce your tax liability here. I mean, in Jamaica, yes, of course, I know that there. I mean, you can file the taxes there and like write off some expense, but whenever it comes to like data, now, I think the elephant in the room is really digital. And what's next on them again? Flow. Yeah, they are the two big elephant in the room, really and truly, because if you think about the data, is very expensive. Why should be a case where they let it be more inexpensive? So that, I mean, business person, individual, bro, they can have, it's more easier for them like to get more data to use, especially when it comes to like if they're doing like a business. So that's the other struggle that they're facing, and that's where they probably need to be an intervention. There probably need to be like some collaboration with the government and these telecommunication giants or more provide the internet so that they can make it more easier for everyone who is gonna probably be using the digital wallet, so that they can they would always have data, digital and
Well,
flow.
I don't know how much it costs for data down in Jamaica, because I've lived in Jamaica for many years, so I don't know what the rate is going right now. But all I'm saying is, I understand people probably can't afford to have data all the time. I get that. I can sympathize that because a lot of these small businesses that Lorna Smith is referring to is people that selling June plum on the roadside, bananas and fruits and stuff like that. Not everybody is has it like that basically. So I get that, but if you can have a smartphone, you should be able to at least even half the time have data to where you can accept these type of payments. You understand? Because at the end of the day, if everybody in Jamaica start using it, then that person is gonna find a way how to use it because no nobody's gonna come up with cash anymore, and they're gonna be forced to use it. And then when they're forced to use it, they're gonna see, okay, well, you know what, I have to pay for this data, but you know what, I'm probably gonna get more business because now I can say I accept this, and then there's gonna be more people that's gonna spend money with me. So it trade off,
Definitely. 'Cause you see, I don't know why sometimes people tend to look at this cashless system. I mean, well, I don't want to say cashless. I better say like a digital system where they can digitalize more payments in Jamaica. I'm just gonna say it like that, right? Because cash is not like they're gonna totally get rid of cash. So probably the way the government say it, I could see why that lead to like a misconception, because you might say, oh, like we're gonna use a cashless system in Jamaica where nobody is gonna be using cash anymore. But I think when they digitalize the payments in Jamaica, it's more easier for us because like honest, nothing that hurt me, like when me go to an ATM like in Jamaica. Now like when I go to the ATM like a city, you stand up there. It's like a weird looking man come stand up and I say, all right, beg you all money and all. Some people even time you for God. Like, that's not safe. That is not safe, honestly. As a matter of fact, there should never be like the ATM that we have in Jamaica. And because like we migrate and overseas right now, when we see a different form of ATM where you have like 20, 40 yards, so many people turn up in our ATM line.
Yeah.
Or in Jamaica, like the number of people that have to join the line to get cash from an ATM machine. That is time consuming. The time that you're taking to join that line to get your cash. You could easily have like if you have a method of payment, like on your phone or whatever.
Most people accept.
That will make it your day more easy, especially on a Friday evening time, because in Jamaica you can almost tell when everybody gets paid. Especially when you look at the Scotia machine on the internet. There's so many people that are standing at that ATM machine just to get cash. But with a cashless system, with a digital system in place to make payments, trust me, that will ease all of that and you make your life more safe. Because as you say, if someone come to rob you, they can't say, they can't take the phone, but that's it. They can't access nothing. But when they take cash from the bank and you're going to already cash, trust me, that's the easiest thing for a robber. Take your money.
All right, so let's talk about this, Carlos, because this is an important thing, and you are the perfect person to talk about this. Let's talk about the aspect of the government being able to collect more taxes because of more transparency and to clamp down on tax evasion. What say you about those two things?
All right. I mean, you see, honestly, like for in a country to build still, I think if the government is able to have a taxation system in place where there is more compliance, then that will contribute to the government fulfilling their budget, because every year the government sets a budget where they expect to collect revenue from taxes so that they can fulfill their budget requirements by taking care of an infrastructure. So if a digital system is in place, I could see wherein it will help the country, because in a sense, like for each transactions are now going to be taxable. So if the transactions are now going to be taxable, then the government can collect the revenue. And then if there's not, versus as opposed to the farmer where everybody is just spending cash, because I don't think there is no measure in place to collect tax from like the man who is selling his soap, the man who is selling whatever. Like there's nothing in place for that. And based on what I know, like most countries look at revenue is from whatever sort you get it. So whether it be the informal sector, whether it be the underground economy, the government always want to collect its taxes. So if you have a digital system in place, it will make it be 100% easier to have more compliance in Jamaica, and it can help with our economy at large, because I said with more taxes being collected, then you can fulfill most of your budget requirements, and such as like I'm not even going to mention fixing the roads, but a lot more can be done.
Better facilities for schools and everything like that. Here's the thing, taxes is important. I hate to say this, because I don't like paying taxes. I try to avoid tax, but avoiding tax is legal. It's evading tax that is illegal. I try to stay away from evasion. You understand? No,
Yes.
tax is important because the government can't run without taxes, because if the government don't collect taxes from the businesses that are making money in this country, then the government can't have the money to put into facilities to make them free for people, such as like certain schoolings, healthcare, education, subsidies, and all these things, make it a better society, such as even like making the society more secure, having money to pay police officers and so forth. You understand? So, at the end of the day, we live in a society, we don't live in a bush, Virgin. We live in a society that is developed and a society that needs to be maintained. Now, I'm not saying that there are not unscrupulous people in the government, and that the government could have more, that the government, I'm not saying that the government shouldn't have more accountability, because the government needs to have more accountability in their system, but part of the reason why the government don't have a lot of accountability, Carlos, is because the government don't have the money to do it, to hire the right amount of people and put the right system in to ensure that accountability. Now, I'll give you an example, right? If you're running, let's say you're running an accounting system, right? Accounting department, right? And let's say there's 100 people that you need in the accounting department in order to have the right segregation of duties and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Now, if you reduce it to 50 people because you're trying to save money or because you just don't have the money, right? Because of that, you're gonna have people that are doing two tasks that they shouldn't be doing, because they'll be able to, for example, if somebody's able to make a payment and make a deposit, they're doing two things that shouldn't go together. So and if people can do a task and validate it, then that could be that could really compromise the system. You understand? And I think that is the main problem with the Jamaican government. I think that they probably don't have enough money to hire the right amount of people to do the job. And there's a lot of people that can do things and validate it and confirm it. And that's why people can get away with a lot of stuff. There's no accountability. There's no way how people can make sure that the money that's being spent is being spent in the right way, that they're looking for vendors that have the best offer and the best price, instead of just looking for a friend and company. You understand? To make sure that there's no kickback, make sure the proper auditing is going on and all that thing. You understand? So it take money in the system to keep money in the system,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, Tristan, and a good way to look at it, But the thing is that in Jamaica, as I said, though, it's just a work in progress for me, and we can achieve the main objective of this cashless, not cashless, digital payment system, if the right measures are put in place, so that people will feel more safer using this method. And at the end of the day, it just be like a better Jamaica to conduct business in general, because that's what we need in Jamaica. It needs to be more easy to conduct business and go about your daily life, not feeling as though as if like you're being threatened using the ATM daily, and a man might come and say, beg your money or you can be robbed and all that. Like that needs to go. Nobody likes that, Anybody that's like up for like, oh, we want to use cash. Like, I don't even travel with cash. Honestly, when I go to Jamaica, I travel with cash.
Yeah, I hardly travel with cash as well. Yeah. I mostly use card to pay for certain things.
Yeah, I don't travel with cash because that's unsafe. That's really unsafe to be traveling. I can imagine you go to Jamaica and say, okay, all right, today. And you know what? Because we grew up in a system where everybody have a big bill of food and say, all right, probably I'm moving how much $1,000. And you can go somewhere and take out that bill of food and say, no, I'm pay for this and pay for that. Like that, to me, that's kind of stupid, though. Honestly. Because it's like it's just like you're attracting yourself to thieves. Because the moment somebody you take out money and start with the transaction, especially where if they want to sketch a location in Jamaica, wherever, not even in Jamaica, even in the US, like anywhere you are, people say like you're having too much money. You're gonna think about, oh, probably I can think of where I can get some money from Tristan, or they're always gonna look at it like that. So it's just overall, I just think it's just a more safer method. And if and when Jamaica should implement this system, I think it provided that the government has no ulterior motive. Because sometimes like with politics, they have politics, Eh?
That
Politics,
is so true.
Politics, what can tell you? Whatever politics can tell you, but yeah. But I mean, as I said, if there is no ulterior motive, then I really think it's a good move forward for Jamaicans and the country at large, because it will look more better for them internationally, especially for visitors who want to conduct business in Jamaica and for investors who wish to invest in Jamaica. So it's not so much of a bad thing as well, man. And that's just how I see it.
So
honestly,
why do people think a cashless system is the mark of the beast? Because I've been seeing that a lot lately.
Like honestly, Chester, when it comes to the mark of the beast, I mean, I don't really have all the information in the world when it comes to this, honestly. But people, I know, because you see, most things that are happening globally, and a lot of people are trying to link it to religion. Cause I'm going to sway a little. If you think about like climate change, some Christians will tell us like it is not fear because they're trying it. They're going to give us some religious reason as to why they think it is not. Climate change is not true, right? Now, when it comes to using a digital currency, they're going to tell us, oh, based on what we see in Revelation, and they talk about what might happen in the last days, this seems like it's the mark of the beast. I'm just telling you what I've heard, because I cannot really answer about mark of the beast first. That's what they're thinking. But I personally cannot say if it's the mark of the beast, because I do not have no concrete information to align cashless system with the mark of the beast. Because based on what they say the mark of the beast is, I mean, like, I don't see a connection, and I really don't believe in mark of the beast or anything like that. So honestly, the Christians, I don't believe in that. I mean, I don't have all the information about mark of the beast. That's just my personal belief. But I really don't think that has anything to do with the mark of the beast. It could be though. It could be. But, yeah.
So let me tell you what I think that came from, and then I'll try to see if I can get Anika on the call, because I think she wanted to call in. So I think that where that came from was initially the way it was presented. I think there was some ambiguity in the message to where people think that it's a cashless society in the literal sense, right? And if you don't have that thing on your phone, then you can't use it. So like when you listen, if you read the Bible before or read anything about it, the Revelations part of the Bible, the mark of the beast, it says you're gonna have something that you can't use. You can't use it in the modern day society. You can't live in the modern day society without it, and that is the mark of the beast. And I don't remember if it says there's gonna be a chip in your hand or something, but it's basically said I don't think it was descriptive enough to say whether it's a chip in your hand or whether it's gonna be something in your phone or whatever. But it says you can't do any transaction without it, basically. If you don't have it, you might as well live up in the hills where away from society. So I think that's where people kind of theorize that from it.
Well, you know what though? It's a possibility, but I am not going to say yes, and I am not going to say no when it comes to that from a person. I just think that like there could be ulterior motive. I don't know if the motive is religious, or it is financial, or whatever it might be. But whenever it comes to like the mark of the beast, like, I mean, I don't even know what is the mark of the beast. I mean, they paint a picture in our head. They paint a picture. I mean, already in Revelation, and a lot of churches, they paint a picture in our head as what, according to what they think the mark of the beast is. But I'm not a believer in the mark of the beast. So, like, whenever it comes to this question, I was like, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Carlos, you don't know, It was a pleasure, my brethren. It was a pleasure. It was a good conversation. We're gonna see if we want to get Anika on the call next. We have about less than a half hour in the program, so hopefully she can give us a nice little talk and We're probably gonna have Ali too as well. Not sure, not certain, but I'm just waiting for him to link me. I know he was kind of busy or whatever, but if anything, we just talk to Anik and then close out the show. All right.
All right. Thanks again, Tristan, and please continue to everyone on the live. Continue to share and like and subscribe. Thanks, Tristan, for calling me.
Yeah, man. Blessing. All right, people. That was Carlos. So let me play a song real quick, and then let me try to connect Anika on the call thereafter. All right. So bear with me, guys. All right. Let's see here.
Wait for an opportunity to escape. I don't belong here. Oh, I've got plans to take me miles away. Oh, I'm gonna get it someday. I don't belong here.
All right, people. While I try to see if Anika's gonna get on the call here, let me just go ahead and I want to play this video one more time for the people that never caught it in the first part. This is Andrew Holness, and this video is called oh, never mind. Here's Anika calling back. All right.
Call from
Anika.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All right, Anika.
Hey, Tristan.
Hey, well done, Anika. Everybody make some noise for your life. Yeah, man. What a go on?
Oh my goodness, not a thing. I was just, trying to be on mommy duties for a bit. So I'm gonna probably make it quick. Yeah.
Yes, I.
But yeah, man. Good topic. Most of what I have to say is this opinion. It's probably not even some of it could probably be facts. But yeah, I'm just here. It's interesting, the topic. Good choice, especially with what has been circulating about the jam decks. Is that what they call it? Jam decks?
Yes.
And then Carlos made some great points too. So we probably have to piggyback off a couple of points them just become 100% prepared. But I can share my opinion about the topic itself. And if I have any facts too, I'll share that as well, All right. So as it pertains to the first question again, so if we think Jamaica is ready for a digital currency.
Are Jamaicans mentally ready to move to a cashless system?
All right. So are Jamaicans mentally ready? Honestly, I don't think so. Strongly, I don't think so. Because if you're gonna, Andrew did take back him talk and say him never said that it's gonna be a cashless system, but that was what he said. Actually, he said it was gonna be cashless, and if somebody says it's gonna be cashless, that means that there's no cash gonna be in circulation, right? So I don't think we're ready. First and foremost, technologically wise, Jamaica is not there yet. Yes, a couple of us young people have a smartphone, and we understand how to use it. But you have to understand that we are talking about the society at large. We're not just talking about the couple university students and we can understand it, or a couple kids where, are technologically savvy in this day and age. And yes, I can agree that we in America we have already been in a cashless system. We are used debit and credit card long time. We hardly use cash. Bless the amount
So
of people that use
our
cash.
cashless system, is it not? Is it cashless? Not in the sense in the term literally cashless meaning there's no cash, or is it cashless meaning there's less cash? Because
That's what I was. That's it's good that you touch it like that, because initially when Andrew said that, he said cashless, and that's what I was saying. That if you're going to say that it's cashless, people are going to think that you are literally or physically and remove the money when them know of. The paper money when them know of using, you're removing.
Is it a case of semantics going on here?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, if you're going to say that, like, you have to fix up the argument that when you come to Jamaican people and say something like, especially people that say them keep their money under their mattress and then bury their money. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially people like those, you're going to tell them, say, the money with them bury and the money with them keep under their mattress, them can't use it no more. And then you're going to tell them, say, you know, come up with a system whereas we can only utilize smartphone to make your transaction or whatever you're going to use at that point in time.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to utilize cash. So there was a lot of ambiguity in that. And then when he came back, he made it seem as though people were stupid. When people were backlashing him, he made it seem like people were uneducated.
Right, when the message had
when
ambiguity.
Right, it had that. He could have came and said, we are moving towards transitioning into not even a cashless, but a system whereby we can utilize less physical cash or physical money. We are testing this. You know what I mean? Let us test this out. But you know, just come to the people and say we are all fully cashless.
So
That's why
the way he came back then, if he came back and he clarified, he didn't have to feel, he didn't have to come back in such a tone as if he's upset.
Right.
And, he could have came back in a better tone, a more reasonable tone.
He could have. And then he came back backlashing people, acting like people were dumb. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I agree with you on there. You know, he could have changed his tone.
Choice of word is very important.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make people seem like they're stupid or they're hard of hearing when you come and you already stated it. And then you come back and then you're trying to clarify yourself. You're trying to correct yourself, but then instead of correcting yourself, I say, you know, I should have said it this way. You come and ask me if they're stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like, you choose your prime minister wisely. Anyways, I joke with it. I'm joking.
Mix up.
But yeah, I don't think we're fully equipped for it, just because I feel like it's not a matter of that people have smartphones, but you also have to think about the access that your society have. And not everybody live uptown. Me come from country. Which part? I don't even know if people even have internet now. I should post this. If people even have internet now, they have to find out where to get internet. And I like Flo. I remember when I was in at home and we wanted to have like internet access for a long time, willing to pay for it, and we couldn't get it. Like Flo, when we call Flo, them said they don't have no line run up there stuff. When we call out the pay for another one, them parents say when them come and test, we don't have no feed up there. Then we can't access. We don't have the what do they call it? Oh, I'm having mommy brain right now, but we can't the service is very poor.
Say that again.
The service would be very poor. Like they can't access. Like the connection would be very, very poor. Even though we're willing to pay for it. Remember, some of them are offering in a situation like that, you should be going around and offering to have these things installed in different rural areas, not just urban areas. Urban areas alone in Jamaica.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to think about the rural areas too. And these are the people that are really pushing back, because they are going to be the persons that are going to be left short when it touches to like this moving technology, this moving digital currency. These are the people that are more concerned, I think, just because of limited access. Yes, couple of us have.
Well, I think that so that's why they're trying to implement this, because they're trying to reach. This is one of the things that they're trying to reach the rural people, because now the rural people, instead of, all right, you live in a certain country place, I know, China, where the service is bad. Like let's say you guys even have Flow or Digicel, right?
Mhm.
But this the every time, and this is something I hear it all the time. Or every time you make to use your card or whatever, the system isn't working. The system is down because the internet is down, right? Now with this new system, you only need the internet connection from the data from like a cell phone or something like that, which pretty much everywhere you're going to Jamaica right now, you can get signal on your cell phone and data. You know, it might not be the strongest, but you can get enough to even make a WhatsApp call, right? So this
But
app,
but you,
yeah.
but you just hit it on the head, because you're gonna say that even if it's not the strongest. I know places in a country which when you carry your phone, you have to climb on hilltops to go get service. So you want to tell me that every time you're supposed to use a transaction, you must go climb the hill, then to go hold up the phone to get the service.
No,
You know
but
what I'm
I
saying?
give a joke. I give a joke. I give a joke, Chin. I give a joke, Anika. Um, the house that we used to live before we lived here,
Mm-hmm.
we could not get any service from T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. I
We
know you were
could
going to
not
say
get any
T-Mobile.
service, and we live in the middle of the city. You could not get any service from T-Mobile. So whenever we were at our house, if we don't put on Wi-Fi, we can't even make a call. And this is America. You understand?
I understand, but yeah, this is America. But guess what? You still have the option to go. You still have the option to go access your money. You get me?
Yeah.
So like you had the option to still access. So I'm just looking at, it's not even a matter of service. It's fine if you don't have service, but I'm just looking at the downfall that it's gonna have on people if you're just only dependent upon like utilizing the digital form of making payment in this. Like I feel like there's so much work that needs to be done, and I'm not gonna say that I don't see the work being put in, but not as much work, because I do pay attention to like the technological industry in Jamaica. I do pay attention just because it's a part of my career, so I pay attention. I see that they're implementing things. I see that they're implementing things in hard to get more people, because also it's not only just because you're going to just implement, but you still have to also have people who are knowledgeable and who are also educated and equipped to be a part of this new workforce that you're creating. You know what I'm saying? So that was another drawback to me when I saw that. I'm like, I don't even think they have enough people that are fully trained and fully prepared to take on it. Because if you're going to go fully, not fully cashless, but going cashless, you're still going to need to have people that works in those industries. And I saw Factify said something that is going to eliminate jobs. Well, yeah, it's going to eliminate those basic jobs, but also it should also create new jobs. And with these new creation of jobs, you also have to make sure that this is implemented in the school system and implemented in like the workforce, so that you have people that you don't have to go hire people from outside, but you'll hire these people within our country that can also do the work and get that side of things going. So that's why I think that we weren't equipped, because there still needs more training. There still needs a little bit more education, and that's one of the reasons why people are against it too, is because they're not educated about the pros of having a cashless or a half and half cashless and cash system. So I don't think we're ready. But I know that it's being pushed to the forefront right now. So whether or not we're ready or not, we just either we are gonna accept it or we are gonna fight against it. But I think there's way more that needs to be done in order to have this. And yes, it's just
with the infrastructure.
With the infrastructure, there's
so
so much
yeah.
more.
Yeah, because I agree. I mean, of course, the infrastructure has to be a part of it. Now, does the infrastructure takes time, and it will take intervention from not the government alone, but the actual people that have the telecommunications, because they're going to be the ones providing the connection. No, I don't think that we should wait until we have the infrastructure to start it, which it already has started, but we're gonna need the infrastructure for it to operate on all 6 cylinders, right?
Right. And true, yes, we don't need to wait, but also people are not gonna trust an infrastructure that is not fully up to par or up to standard. And I mean, this thing isn't a yesterday decision. this thing isn't a today decision where they decided that they were going to have this type of system in place. You think that yesterday them decided this? No, this thing has been in preparation for years.
Right.
But why
right.
Jamaica so backward? Why are we at the bottom of the barrel? Because we are a third world country? This thing has been this. I think yesterday America planned to do CBDC or whatever they might do. Yesterday they have been planting these seeds for years, and then they decided to roll it out. So while they're at the bottom of the barrel, we want to be up to par with these first world countries, America and everywhere. But yet still we weren't planting any seeds. When you had to teach IT in a school, you never touch base on a lot of these things. I must have since yesterday, then probably I'm going a little bit more in depth as it pertains to IT. Basic IT you need to learn when you go high school.
Well, here there's not. I mean, there's not an urgent need for that here in America because we already have a good system with the banks as far as like spending off your cards and stuff like that. You know, basically almost everywhere you go, they will accept a card in America. You know, there's very few places that only accept cash. You know, and if they don't accept cash, then you have like you know the Zelle and you have Cash App and all these things. So you really don't have to worry about that. It's not like the government of America has to come in to say, oh, we're gonna make a government digital currency to try to take over everything. You know, because that's gonna be hard, especially in an economy like this. Yes, you can implement it and people will use it, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna use it more than anything else.
Anything else,
yeah,
right.
But I can see where Jamaica would need it. I think, you know, and need it not as in we should cut out cash completely, but we need it and we need everybody to have it so that we can have a free flow of trade, you know, to the economy. But I say that to say, right, with that being said, here's the next question I have for you, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think a cashless system will improve the economy and life of the Jamaican population?
If it will include the economic
increase,
the
economy.
Improve. Okay. Yes, I think it would improve the economy. Just because I guess it will take away like right now I see like I don't even want to talk about that because I'm gonna probably put a lot of opinion. But yeah, like you know, like with the whole beryllium thing with the robberies and all of that. I think yes, it would improve the economy, meaning that I guess we'd have less robberies of that magnitude if it's all. But then again, how is that gonna affect? Maybe I quote this wrong, but. I think so. Yeah, I think it would improve it just because piggybacking off of some of the things Carlos said, like with the taxes and all of that stuff. Now they'll be able to take what they want to take from your transaction and then give you what's left. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So in a case like that, then yes, it would improve the economy at large. But also, is there going to be some audit of what that portion of money is going towards? You know what I mean? Like some policies gonna have to be in place for things.
Well, what exactly you mean? Like what an audit of what the money is going towards? That what specifically?
Like okay, so for instance, one of your thing on the PowerPoint said that one of the benefit of this, and this would be a part of the improvement, would be like tax. You could avoid the tax evasions, right?
Right.
So I was looking at that yes, it would erase the tax evasion. However, would the money that they're saying that they're going to be taking from this transaction would be have that audit to show that the money that they're saying that would be, I guess, taken from these transactions, and we would be expecting those to be contributed towards Jamaica's infrastructure. Will they be held accountable for those? What am I trying to say? Will they be held accountable? Because we know how the government get. They guess them are going to take it and use it towards infrastructure, but it must go towards that. They could have them motive.
I see what you're saying now. I see what you said now. Yes. Yeah. So that's that's also a concern. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is a concern, because now let's say the government is. I'm just put a number out there. Let's say the government is collecting $1 billion in taxes right now without the
Right.
system, right? And then with the new system, now they implement the new system. So now there's a digital footprint of a lot of transactions, right? And a lot of
Right.
the guys that are making millions of dollars, right? That are not reporting it. No, it's not that every one of them is gonna get caught, It's just that
Right.
if any of them are pulled for an audit, then there's a
Right.
digital footprint to use as support. So it doesn't
Right.
mean that, okay, well, you as the little stallman and thing we sell bananas or whatever, if you never, let's say you never report, so you make certain money and things like that for the bananas or whatever, right? That you're just in big trouble. It's not that you're in big trouble because you never report it. It's just that if you get audited, then you can be in big trouble because there's a digital footprint. Now, let's say a bunch of people get audited, right? Or let's say even if they don't get audited, let's say they just start to report properly how they should report, because they know that, they can get audited. And now the government start to take in, let's say, 1.5 billion. I would say even maybe 3 billion, because I think that there's way more money not being reported than there is. You understand?
Right.
And let's say the government start taking $3 billion in taxes now, on an annual basis. Then that extra $2 billion, yes, it can go towards other things, regarding the development of the country, good uses, and make the country richer and make the lives of the people more better. You understand what I'm saying? But I agree with you. What are they going to do with it? Because it could just mean that, okay, they're going to do another government contract to build roads or whatever, but instead of them ending up spending $1 billion because that's what it costs to do that road project, it end up cost $2 billion because they employ their friend and company to do it, right? And they end up getting a kickback or something. I'm not accusing the government of this, I'm just saying that if there's no accountability in the system, then these things can happen. And this is not a Jamaican thing. This is a every country thing. These things happen in America just the same. So I'm not accusing the government of accepting kickbacks or anything like that. I'm just saying that if there's not good system put into place to avoid these things, so for vendor selection when it comes to spending government spending, that it's being spent in the right way and we're getting the right bargain and everything like that, then these things will happen. Kickback will happen, and all these things,
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I was trying to say. But yeah.
All right, let me answer this question, right? Why do people think a cashless system is the mark of the beast?
I don't know, because I read it in my Bible. I don't know. It's like they talk about associative learning. So now they're associating what they've learned and what they've read for years, and then based on what is happening, the rapidness of the changeover, not just in Jamaica but all over the world. They think that this is considered the mark of the beast just because of what people are, I guess, reading it literally. To them, they think that this is what is happening. And social media is not doing any justice to it at all, because every time you go on social media, if you pay attention to the mark of the beast or something similar, you start getting that seed constantly. So them seeing this, and they're probably thinking to themselves that this is the mark of the beast, but then having the fact that other people are thinking what they're thinking, now they're all coming together thinking that, yeah, indeed, this is the mark of the beast. I don't know if you saw the video where they were inserting the thing in the arm.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So it's not that they're just saying that. They're seeing things out there on social media, which we know that everything on social media is true, but that looks true because I think they had installed it in Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's, one of them company there.
Really?
Don't quote me if I Trader Joe's. They had the employees. I think it was Trader Joe. Don't quote me. I might have to go look it up and send it to you, where they were inserting the the chip inside their hands. The employees had to do it. Some of them got time to think about it. They didn't have to do it instantaneously, and then they came and talked about the experience of it. And then after they inserted that in their hand, they were able to just use their hands to scan and pay for their items. So it's because of things like these that is apparent on the internet why people are thinking that this is probably the end of the world, and also that it is the mark of the beast. So I can't say it's not or it isn't. Based on what anybody that's probably very, very religious and has been religious probably all their life, if they see things like this and it's associated to like what they've read in Revelation, then of course they're going to think that it's the mark of the beast, you know?
Right.
But I don't know if it is, but that's what they're associated it to.
So let me read a couple comments here, Anika, and then we're gonna wrap up the live. All right.
Yeah.
So Devries Watson say, yeah, me listen the sister and she realistic. So I guess he's saying you're realistic, Anika, in your analogy and the things that you're speaking of. First Millennial Entertainment. Let me pull up his First Millennial Entertainment says, good question, Anika. I think there would definitely need to be more transparency and accountability in this digital payment system. Yeah, that's the part that you brought up with the accountability part of it. So let me ask you this last question, Anika. Would you personally feel safer in Jamaica with a cashless system?
If I would feel safer in Jamaica with a cashless system, I probably would feel safer, yes, with a cashless system. But let me tell you something. And I don't even want to take myself in because I don't know who listening to this. You see, when people want to push an agenda and when people want to get what they want to be implemented, installed, you'll see all type of things happening, okay? Look at Beryllium. All of a sudden, every other day, them rob the van them.
So you think this is a conspiracy?
Why would you? I mean, the first thing and foremost is we used to have with big tough van them. I don't remember what they call them. I don't know some of the people keep money in. When you talk about your good money where you want to transfer from bank to bank, you're not gonna put them in a bread van, my love. I don't know where they get that vehicle from. I must borrow them from China. Like you're gonna put all of your much million money in them the van there, where breeze blow and it can't blow it. Even if they rob it, breeze can't blow it. Like, come on. And then all of us sudden you hear about all different types of stuff. People need to use them brain. All of us sudden every other week, so when you want to implement and you want to push your agenda, you want to push things to the forefront. If you can't do it one way, you'll do it the other way. We know this. We know this. When I call the book, we call us always 48 Laws of Power. People need to read what they book. Like things don't just happen like that. Consistency, constantly. Come on. For number one, you remove the tough ban. I remember what I call it. That's the first step. You took away that secures the money.
Well, isn't that a private business though? That's their.
When you have your business and you're trying to protect your asset, you're trying to protect your most valuable asset. Are you gonna put it in the worst vehicle you're gonna put it in something like money, like of that magnitude? You're gonna put it in like a little one of them little, I don't even know what they call the van. You know how them vehicles are very, very soft.
Yeah.
Have
like the little cargo vans.
What you had it in and put it in something like that.
Yeah.
If you want it to be safe, you want it to be secure. It's insured. Yes, it is insured. People need to know that it is insured. The money is insured. But you want to take it from one of them big, I don't remember what they call it. Somebody put it in the comment. What they call it?
The armored trucks.
The armor. You're going to take it from an armored truck and put it into a little van with two men in the front with a gun.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, that kind of stupid, but I'm not sure of the inner workings of that business, so I'm not sure.
That don't make no sense. That's the first thing. You're already dethrone your security, right? Okay, you take all of your money.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's any security guards working for them at this point. I know people want to work and thing, but at this point, man, it better you do anything than do that because your life basically in danger. I think, you know what? I think that the vehicles are armored, you know. Don't get me wrong, you know. There's some of them that probably don't have the heavy armor, but I think most of them are armored. I think what the issue is, you know, I think they don't have that many people carrying the money, and that may be because of you know, them trying to save money. They don't want to send out like a bunch of guys on the same job basically. So they send like 2 or 3 guys at a time, you know, which 2 or 3 guys aren't enough when there's like 8 guys jumping out with rifles, you know, and all they have is a shotgun and probably a handgun on the waist.
Well, their manager, whoever is in charge, need to go do some risk management. They also need to go do some disaster recovery. And they also need to go have some tabletop discussion because that don't make no sense. No sense. Like, why would you? And then it's too constant, for one. And it just looks like, I mean, I don't know if it looks more of an inside job. I don't know. Like, I mean, Andrew, could I use technology to go find somebody who tell him to go in matter? But you can't use technology. No, I'm not convinced. But it was a great discussion today, Tristan.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Anika, you know, every time give thanks for the call.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Everybody, you know what y'all need to do. Share the live. Tell a friend that if they're not over here on a Sunday, their evening is very sad.
All right. See there. Everybody, that was Anika. Make some noise. My God. All right. So let me read this last. I'm gonna read this last comment from Maria Smith, and then I'm gonna close out the live, guys. So Maria Smith says, Jamaica needs to fix a lot of these things before that can take place, starting with internet service. They need more competition with Flow. Yeah, totally agree. And that's one of the things that we brought up earlier, Maria. They definitely need to fix that part of it before this is implemented. Well, it's already implemented, but you know, if they want this thing to work, a big part of it is to have landline or coaxial cable, rather, whatever you call it, internet, basically everywhere, so you can have good, strong connections no matter where you are. But until that happens, you know, we're gonna have to keep using the radio wave signals, or whatever they use to ping the signals to our cell phones, and satellite signal as well for the people that live up in the hills and the far rural places. But guys, you know, I want to thank everybody for coming through. You know, thank you for everybody that joined the live. It was a pleasure presenting to you guys today. You know, very interesting conversation with the callers today, and very interesting comments from everyone, you know. So I want to big up everybody on the live again. Let me just big up everybody on the live again real quick. So I want to big up First Millennial Entertainment, Alien Governor, Topman Dancehall, Howard Chin, Bill Bass, Factify World Forum, Lorna Smith, Anika, Orain Drummond, big up. You know what I mean? Big up Jacqueline Smith, big up Devris Watson, you know what I mean? Big up Maria Smith, same way. So big up everybody on the live, big up everybody that comment, and you know, we give thanks for the support, you know, every time. I really appreciate it. And you know, I'm happy to come here and present to you guys. I'm happy to research topics and present to you guys, as well as providing this platform for you guys to, you know, air out your grievances, or just to give your opinion and give your comment on things, you know what I mean? And we can talk about it. There's certain things we can talk about that's a more serious topic, certain things we can talk about that we can have a laugh about, you know? So, you know, until next time, guys, you know, big up. So we're gonna close out with a song right quick, you know what I mean? And I hope everybody has a great Sunday evening. All right, blessings until next time.
Jeez. You know. Yo, that shit I had off the press. money can change up me. Me, I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody, say, I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. All me do, I trust the process. Me never need no camera to keep the focus. Me full of power like the Porters. Me never word the hocus pocus, but me flyer than a locust. Girl interrupt me mid-fly fi take the photos. Pull up in at the Lotus, rev the engine, make them hear the British motors. Girl I get wet and them want fi super soakers. Our friend had the bonus. Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free.
They are on the paper. Want a skyscraper in Jamaica, but me not change. Just a make some change. Give me the money and keep all the fame. Money me a pre, me not care who don't like me. Middle finger for you and she, yo mobby. Every day is a payday. Me have to the money, I just so me stay here.
Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no work for free. Hey, from me idea me need. Dollar on my mind, be a cash me a pre. Wall I invoice me time cost a fee. Foot pan the gas me a work like B. And it no matter how much cash come in, every day I the same RG. You can't shame me for what me like B. Me step over them in a me Nike. Ain't no money can change up me. Me I hold my one bitch, say la vie. Ain't no money can change up me. Tell everybody say I the same RG. Ain't no money can control me. RG a big dog when I got no leash. Ain't no money can control me. Honestly, every day is me no